G'day guys, the Simon Black Academy is all about education and sport. Our partner in education is Torrens University, where our students either do a 1-year diploma course or a 3-year Bachelor of Business. Around that we run a football and athletic program based here at Norwood Oval, and it's all about trying to develop and take our students' game to a new level. Around that also, our third pillar, besides education and football, is personal development. If you want to get involved, check out our website, which is simonblack.com.au.
Well folks, we're down here at the Banner Crew. Our friend, supporter and sponsor of Between the Posts has joined us. Welcome Jason Goods.
Thanks Tony, nice to be with you.
What can the people out there expect to buy from the Banner Crew and get looked after?
Pretty much anything that you can put your club logo on or a message from the club, whether it be like you mentioned, a marquee or a flag or an A-frame or a banner, a stubby holder, a pen, anything like that, anything that you can pop the club branding on. Everything's customisable, so basically we've got an in-house design department with 2 graphic designers that can work toward getting the message across that you're after.
We're down here at 318 to 326 St Vincent Street, Port Adelaide. Jason, thank you so much for your support.
Well, g'day footy fans and welcome to Campbelltown Memorial Oval for round 16 of the Buddy Bet Division 1 season. Yes, the finals are coming. They are just 4 weeks away, but you won't hear us talk much September during our broadcast here today. No, this game's about survival, about staying in the top flight. It's a battle to avoid relegation, and we're expecting a most desperate fight. And thanks to all those that helped bring this coverage to you today, the Banner Crew, Buddy Bet, Sip and Save, Wakefield Sports Clinic, Police Credit Union, O'Connell Street Meat Central Market, Simon Black Academy, Roller Dice Racing, Archie's Footwear, New Balance, Powerade, Dartfish, Sports Interactive, C-Match Clinical Research, and the Mosley Bar and Kitchen. Coming up, it's 9th place, Rostrevor, Old Collegians, against 8th place, Old Ignatians. Only one can stay in Div 1 next year. Thanks to Filming Footy, this is the Adelaide Footy League. Well, g'day footy fans, you're looking live at the Campbelltown Memorial Oval. A big afternoon here for both these clubs, Old Ignatians and Rostrevor Old Collegians. All about survival today, 8th versus 9th, with only 3 games left in the 2022 Div 1 season. My name's Phil Hill, thanks for tuning in. You can see the two cricket pitches there looking a bit on the muddy side. Craig Lambert will tell us all about that a little bit later. But I'm Phil Hill and I'm joined by my co-commentator. We've got the crew back together again just before the finals. Sean Jacko Jackson. Jacko, welcome to a do or die battle.
Oh, thanks, Fabulous. I feel like I was shag on the rock last week, but it's good to be back. Well, good to have you two boys back co-hosting with me this week. As I said, a little bit lonely last week out at Port District. So hope you boys enjoyed the weekend off.
I did, mate. A hotel with a spa. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Hello. Let's keep the rest of it
That's as far as I'm going to take that.
on the down low, Phil. Lambo.
How are you, boys? Great to be alive. Good to see you both again. And like Phil said, it's about survival. And if you ever watch that TV show Survival, it is about the strongest, the smartest, and the one who really, really wants it. And that's going to be the difference today, boys.
Well, it's interesting. If this was a normal country competition or just a normal 10-team comp, this would be a game that no one would have any interest in. Get a win, it's nice, but there's no consequence. Absolute consequence today. Both teams are 8-9. We look at maybe the Buddy Bet Division 1 ladder just to illustrate the point. This logjam we've had all season is just starting to separate, and unfortunately for Old Iggies and Rostrevor, they're at the wrong end of the list.
Yep. Well, you're right there, Phil. What we're going to see is possibly a side get relegated on 7 wins, but certainly a side get relegated on 6 wins, and that's generally the path. Of course, 6 is considered when you worry about the bottom end of the table. 6 is the magic figure normally. So both sides have achieved that. So 6 isn't going to be enough this year. You're going to need to win 7. And what I want to know is if we're calling this game Relegation Cup, will there be a cup presented to the loser today?
Well, I know that in another competition there's a group of fans that like to have spoon day.
Yes.
And the team that gets the wooden spoon, the fans turn up with various utensils to present.
Well, there won't be a spoon on the end of this.
No.
We think Paynham's got the spoon, don't we?
Well, Paynham have to win today or else they are relegated tonight. As the Bees have just been done, Old Iggies that are top of the Division 1 reserves have won by 72 points. They won by about 6 goals in the Seas, looking for the trifecta today. Let's have a look at the home team, Rostrevor Collegians, and their season thus far. Look, didn't start off great, losing to Spock by 85 points. And the thing that I note, Jack, is that sometimes when they've gone down big. Spock by 85, Glenunga 59, Port District's 47, Brighton 52, Prince's 76.
Yeah.
That doesn't help their percentage, and that could be critical later on.
No, it doesn't. And when you look through the team list, there's 2 things that stand out to me as far as Rostrevor go. One is that they're still strong around the ball. I think they'll have a decided advantage over Old Iggies of the ball, and the front end of the ground has also been at times their Achilles heel this year because of injuries, but they're all back playing today. So you've got a 3 key-pronged forward line that consists of Paul Fantasia, predominantly out at centre half forward, along with Louis McCormack and Nick Murphy, who for me is the barometer of the Rostrevor side. When he plays and kicks a bag, they win.
Yep.
If you go back and track those wins, you'll find that he's kicked probably 5 or 6 in every one of those wins. So he's crucial. And Patrick Dawson, we've watched him for a couple of years now, and we love his work. So that's going to be the challenge, I think, for Old Iggy. Can they compete in the midfield, and can they hold Rostrevor's potent attack?
They've made 3 changes coming into the side today. Tulio Dematius, love seeing Tulio back. Charles Kemp and Mackay Glover, which are actually from the Norwood Rezzies, which is probably a strengthening of their lineup. Nicholas Cargay, Tom O'Malley and Jade Silvac are out. And just that run home, Jacko, after today, they travel to Largs to take on league leaders Port District, host second place Goodwood Saints. If it's not today to get that win, I can't see it happening in 17 or 18.
No, I think both clubs understand the significance of today. Feel good crowd warming up here today too. I think everyone in the crowd understands this is do or die for both sides. So I'd expect this game to be really tough right from the outset because of what's riding it. Notice Richard Williams umpiring the B grade out there today too, which is interesting. But some significant outs for Old Iggies. I guess we'll go through them in a minute. Is that Phil Gallagher down there I can also see?
It is indeed. Can pick Phil a mile off.
Bit of royalty here today.
The Norwood connection. I mean, Rocks are sometimes known as Norwood C grade. Plenty of Rostrevor boys have found their way to the Redlegs. Old Ignatians, you've got the season up on your screen. Had a nice run early on. Got inside the 5-3 and 2. But then they've lost a whole stack. 4 in a row between rounds 11 and 14. Before the upset last week
week against Spock by 22 points. 2-5 on the road. They've lost their last 3 road games. They struggle to score, ranked 8th. Their defence not much better, ranked 7th.
Yeah, you'll also notice on that screen, Phil, that they've only had 2 significant losses. Brighton by 44 and Spock by 68. All the rest of them have all been pretty much within 4-goal margins, which means they've been in every game pretty much this year, which is a significant achievement first year in Division 1. So we need to give them and recognise that, give them some credit and recognise that effort. And we called the first win ever.
You did.
Oh, you weren't there?
That sudden illness.
Yeah.
And you had to cover for me again.
Well, that was a fantastic day, and I actually bought the coach, Bootsy, and his offside a beer after the game, so we're looking forward to that getting repaid at some stage in the future. I haven't forgotten, boys. Bootsy.
Jacko never forgets.
Who makes a media bloke buy him a beer after the game when it's your club? What sort of carry on was that, Bootsy? Anyway, look, I'm a little bit concerned for Old Iggy's today, Phil. Look, particularly with their outs. Braden de Prince has probably as good a ruckman as there is in the competition. We know Rostrevor's ruckman's been in pretty solid form all year. Butterworth would have been a good battle. He doesn't play. Dominic Grant, who kicked 5 goals last time that these two sides played, now he pulled out this morning with injury. And Matt Brunoli is also not playing, so significant outs of the side, and I think Rostrevor's probably got the best side on paper that they've had this year. So, look, if you're asking me for a tip, and I know you're not, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Hey, we've got 6 minutes to go here, Jacko. I know you're keen. I love the fact you're getting in early this week. It's fantastic.
Well, that's because I was here early. I must also mention, I just noticed Mark Wharton over there, his son James is playing for Rostrevor. Not sure how much he's played there this year, but Mark and Michael Wharton all obviously played at Port Magpies and were good players back in the day, so that's terrific to see.
All right, let's go to Lambo. He's down in the middle of 2 cricket pitches.
Oh.
Jacko and Phil, what a game we got here today at Rostrevor. Okay, whoever loses will probably go to Div 2. We've got the captains coming in now. We've got Daniel McCallum from Rostrevor and young Will Abbott from Old Iggy's. Ground's in pretty good conditions. In the middle here it's muddy, only the 2 cricket pitch, otherwise in good nick. Okay, we're ready for the toss now, boys. We'll call tails. And Old Iggy's won the toss. They are kicking to the left of your screen, to the northern end. I reckon the southern end is worth about 2 goals. My predictions today, boys, I'm going for Iggy's by 17 points. Hey, we love it here, boys. Have a great call, and I'll speak to you throughout the game. All the best.
Thanks for that, Lambo. He's enjoying the fact the ground is actually bathed in sunshine at the moment. And to be honest, Jack, we had a lot of rain in the last 4 days, and the oval has held up pretty well.
Yeah, no, the oval looks good. I'm not sure whether Lambo got his wires crossed there, but did he say this?
No, it's a southerly breeze to the northern end.
Right,
sure.
so he did get that. So Lambo, go back and watch that and just...
Should we get him a compass for Christmas?
Clean your act up. The breeze is going... He did say the breeze is going to the left of the screen, then he said it's worth 2 goals to the southern end.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 goals to the northern end.
So Iggy's are kicking to the Oban or Paradise end, and Rocks are kicking to the... the lower northeast road end. Just remember what road that is there. That is definitely the southern end.
Right, so that's your tip, Phil?
My tip, when in doubt, go with the home team.
Right.
Although it Rocks, if you had to put the 2 seasons next to each other, you'd say Old Iggy's have had the better season.
Yeah. 6
losses by 3 goals or less. They've been very competitive at this higher level. But just today, probably Rocks the more settled side as you predicted. So on that basis, Rocks by a goal or 2.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Rostrevor as well. On the basis of what we've already spoken about. Both coaches look a bit toey today too.
Everyone's going to be toey. This is a very the emotions afterwards will be fascinating to watch. They did meet earlier around 8 at Carnarvon. Rocks led by 20 points at half time, went goalless in the final quarter. Old Iggy stormed home to win by 13 points. Grant kicked 5 goals. He's not there today for Old Ignatians. He was also their best player, along with Ed Shaw, who is playing today wearing number 17. Very quickly, the other games in Division 1, get your thoughts maybe in a word, Jacko. Tea Tree Gully hosting the Goodwood Saints.
Goodwood.
Brighton hosting Prince Alfred.
Brighton.
Glenunga hosting Payneham Norwood Union, who have to win. Glenunga and Payneham to be relegated tonight. And probably on the table, the best matchup of the day, St Peter's, who do need a win. They've lost their last few, hosting the league leaders, Port District.
How come I'm only allowed one word and you waffled on with the start of every game?
Because I set the context, you give me an expert analysis.
It's one word, it can't be much of an expert.
Because the teams took longer in their huddles than I thought they would.
Oh, it's called, what's that called? Tulio's on the
flexing.
bench.
We're flexing the time here.
No, I'm going for districts there, Phil. I think not sure what's going on at St Peter's. We were very impressed with them early in the year. Remember that day they beat
Ever since you interviewed Jeff Riddle, or we interviewed
he got ahead of himself, did he?
Or you put him off, I'm not sure what the story is, but this is a do or die battle. What we love about the Adelaide Footy League, avoiding relegation. To get us underway, your caller is Sean Jacko Jackson.
Yeah, the umpire holds the ball aloft even, and Butterworth it is who gets first hands on the ball. He pushes it forward in the direction of Mead, who's come onto the ball and playing it across the half back a bit lately. Baccanello's there, he gets the handball out to a running Macaulay Glover back into the side today from Norwood Reserves, I believe. He looked for Murphy, couldn't take it, but intelligently it's kept in by Rostrevor. Ball hugs the boundary line and ends up going out of bounds, but an ominous start, I would have thought, the first clearance. Have a look at Benny Watkins on the sidelines already. He is animated, isn't he? He is entertainment personified on the bench.
If there was a spare jersey, he'd be putting it on right now.
He would indeed. Can you give me the number of the Rostrevor, the old Ignatians ruckman?
Okay, 28.
28, I thought that was, so that's Tim Big.
Appropriate.
Yes,
As
indeed.
20 metres out, there's a huge crowd around the ball. It's down Rox's end of the ground. Lots of vertical stripes is all I can see right now of various colours. Rox can see to try and go forward. There is a kick on the forward 50 arc.
I just had to put the arms out, Murphy, didn't he?
He did.
Try to take it on
in
the
the
chest.
end, Ferrari will put a big boot into that. So big, in fact, it's going to go out of bounds on the fall. Daniel McCullum will bring it back.
Yeah, plenty of numbers inside the Rostrevor forward line. Old Iggy's looking to bottle it up. Daniel McCullum goes towards his best buddy, Tim Baccanello, with a beautiful kick. And he's run in Daniel McCullum, who followed up the Old Iggy's. There's a bit of feeling in that. It was dealt a pretty late hit on Tim Baccanello. The umpire was right there, didn't see anything too untoward on it. This will test Timmy Baccanello's kick, I would have thought. He'd be kicking from about 50. He'll need his best kick ever, and this, Phil, you know, is one of my pet hates. I would suggest,
let's see where he puts it first.
I would hope he puts it at the top of the square, because I don't think he makes the distance from here. Let's have a look. Oh, Phil, hey, that's why I know my footy. Seriously, Tim, you played enough footy to know that is a shot. Can kick.
Well, maybe it's a case of every point counts, because that does put Rox in front. And now it's Old Ignatians towed with the ball. So if you just joined us, Old Ignatians in the blue with the gold and red vertical stripes kicking to the left of your screen. Rox in the red and black stripes, black shorts kicking to the right. Nicely intercepting Hayden Swanbury, so they've really put up a decent wall here. It's all been in Rox half of the field, but can they get reward for effort? I reckon this might be
it's McCullum.
McCullum again. Probably his third position. Goes towards a hot spot, off some pair of hands. Backing out, had it and lost it. Tackle on Rostrevor, not sure about the attempt to get rid of it. Of course, this is the Adelaide Footy League. There is some discretion, benefit of the doubt. Time for a ball up.
Yep, and Rostrevor's Tim Big gets hand on that one. Goes to the ground, no one able to take it. Looks like Jet Boxer is in there for Rostrevor, doing his hardest to clear the ball. Player screaming for a free kick for holding the ball. Umpire says nothing doing. I'll bounce this, and once again the Old Ignatian numbers are really hard to pick up. Wish they'd do something bootsy about your Guernsey, would be appreciated. Rostrevor have all the control of the ball at this stage. It's just a matter of when they can score, and doing it beautifully was James Wharton. Got up and then finished his work with a beautiful kick, and that is a fantastic passage of play. And although it's only the first goal of the day, I am going to say that is going to be tough to beat if Rostrevor win for the Simon Black Academy play of the day. First goal to James Wharton.
Yeah, important first goal, and pretty much a solo individual effort. Got up, evaded the pursuit of Jack Manson and kicked truly, and you're right. That one is going to be hard to beat. One of our numerous prizes today, we do have the Player of the Day, which is the New Balance MVP. And it gets a $100 New Balance voucher, plus, of course, the Moseley Bar and Grill Best Team Man Award. All to be decided and interviewed by Lambo post-game. Butterworth the tap in the middle, and it's an interesting little laneway they've got to work there between the two cricket pitches.
It's a small circle to get it on that green grass.
Yeah, East Torrens Cricket Club will be here in action in just a couple of months. Quite amazing, actually, how they transfer the season that quickly.
Yeah, that was an interesting kick. The the Old Ignatians, Sam Boots actually kicked it backwards in Rostrevor's direction, and now they're inside. Dawson hacks it off the ground towards Murphy. Just a little bit of experience there, good enough to get the handball back to Dawson. He's got it all in front of him. If he can hook it over his shoulder and keep it on track, he does. They're out to 2 goals, and things are looking ominous. I know it's only early, folks. We're 5 minutes in. But the scoreboard now reflects total dominance of Rostrevor. 2 goals, 1 Old Iggy's. Not only yet to score, yet to be inside their forward 50, Phil. In fact, I don't think they've gone over the half-forward line,
No, they haven't, Jacko. I'll back you 100% on that. And Patrick Dawson missed the handball, but showed a bit of class and poise, I think, in that situation to get control of the ball and snap truly. And an early breakaway for the home side.
Yeah, we mentioned the strength of the Rostrevor forward line today, Phil, and that's the way it looks already. That's probably, they're safe to say they're on top. Butterworth hacks the ball with a handball forward. Nicely taken by Charles Kemp from Norwood, hooks around the corner. This time Old Iggy's are able to take a mark inside their
back possessions.
Yeah, it's been the challenge for them, and they've given away a free kick, Rostrevor, which has allowed Old Iggy's to do that. Now it's Jack Manson on the centre wing. Now they're inside forward 50, and a beautiful kick. They're going to have their first shot on goal here. Probably about 40 metres out. Bradley Jones.
Yeah, 28 goals for the season. 3 times he's kicked 4 goals.
Yes, I'd suggest to you, Phil, that breeze certainly not a problem. Distance will not be a problem. I think he just needs to go a little bit the right post. Let's see how he goes. Bradley Jones for Oldie's first score of the game. Looks good off the boot. Looks good off the boot. It is indeed. Oldie's on the board. A badly needed goal. They're out to 1 goal, trailing Rostrevor 2-1, and well, a free kick given away by Charles Jordan on the sidelines, which gave them the second possession that we spoke about, Phil. Sometimes you just got to be careful about when you give away free kicks, and ends up with a goal to Rostrevor as a result.
An experienced player, Brad Jones. He's got a good collection of Guernseys. Played his juniors at Athelston, just down the road here. His under 16s at Norwood, his under 18s at Westies, and his reserves at the Port Magpies.
Wow, that's some sort of CV. Where's he playing next year, Phil?
That's a very good question. Who will be in Div 1 next year might have a fair bit to do with that, I suspect. Back in the middle, Butterworth and Big locking horns. Our umpires, Zibby on fielding with the ball at the moment. Paul Smith, the other field umpire. I'll give you the boundary and goals shortly. Rock's just knocking it forward. Ooh. Oh, good courage shown by Will Mead to keep attacking the football.
Throw.
Got the one-handed hand pass. I'm not sure how you hand pass one-handed. And it's been agreed. No, that's an illegal throw.
Yeah, so again, Old Iggy's have a chance to repel, but McCullum again standing. I reckon that's his 3rd mark inside 10 minutes or inside 8 minutes off the half-back line, the skipper. He's certainly leading the way for Rostrevor. He's going to be really important the longer this game goes too, because they can throw him onto the ball with some confidence. He's got that big solid build that'll be important in that mud. Anyway, we have a ball up on centre wing. Old Iggy's this time bring it away. It's Charles Jordan who punches it forward. Now Rostrevor come into the middle of the ground. Ryan Lim looks to switch the play this side of the ground. He's got a runner in Josh Massey playing his 50th game today for Rostrevor. Probably predominantly in the B grade, but he's done that well. Pushed as he kicked it. Good enough to get the ball in the direction of Jet Boxer. Could have got one for too high. Now Patrick Dawson back out the far side of the ground to Charles Kemp. looked lively early. He handballs it off to Bacanello. He's going to get run down, but just does enough to get his boot the ball. And Nick Murphy been done by pace. Good match-up today, actually. Aussie Murdoch, good experienced player for Old Iggy's up against Murphy. I'll enjoy watching that duel unfold as the day progresses.
Yep, moments at this point, you give the points to Old Iggy's on that particular battle. They've got it on the Chateau wing, kicking it down towards the forward 50 where it's a 2-on-3 battle. Rocks have the numbers, but it is Jones who has the ball. He's tackled one-handed, and that's holding the ball. And well done to Tulio Dematius, who's back in the lineup. He'll take it from the northern pocket here at Campbelltown. Umpire says you've had some time to think about it. Play on. Kick to the half-back flank.
Oh.
In the end, uncontested. Too easy for mine, Jacko. Charles Kemp will send Rocks forward.
Yeah, both the Norwood boys having a bit of an influence for Rostrevor early. This time it's directed at Murphy. He can't take the ball cleanly, but they've got plenty of other answers. Dylan Reinbrecht has it now in the centre of the ground. They can't tackle him, but beautiful intercept mark taken. Can't read the number. They come back to the far side. That looks like it might be Lawrence Comazetto now. Lowers the eyes, got some numbers out the far side. 2-on-1, needed to go for the handball. Decided going quick, but Rostrevor had all the numbers there, so sometimes you just got to play to the numbers. And, well, if he has a chance to reflect on that, and maybe Bucci has a chat to him at quarter time, just a release handball that player would have ran into an open goal. Instead, he kicked it in long to a 1-on-3. In the end, not a bad result for Old Iggy's. He got a restart 20 metres from goal. Butterworth is clearly winning the ruck duels. Well, that one was taken off by Christian Rook back into the side this week. He just couldn't keep it on line, but smart enough to put it along the ground, and it'll be a boundary throw-in.
Yep, some leagues that's a free kick to the opposition, but not here. Throwing right by the behind post. Big ruck tap. Butterworth got the tap. Rocks get the quick clearance. A high kick. Who's got it? Landed in the lap of Fantasia, who couldn't hold on. Then there's a hot foot. There's a lot of blue around this ball. And it's another holding the ball call. We've seen a couple. The tackling have led to some free kicks. And again, good luck working out the number here. I reckon it's Tommy Ryan, number 21.
Yeah, you're right, Phil.
And he's going to back himself here, despite having never kicked a goal at this level. Played 14 reserves games, 15 goals. He kicks it where he should, top of the square.
McCullum
where you
again.
can't throw it in for a behind. But McCullum's up to the challenge. He kicks it back towards it. Good to see a good bit of footy on this side of the ground. Going to be a free kick as it goes to Paul Fantasia on the members' wing.
Yeah, he goes long towards Murphy. Hasn't started the game in great form. Murphy's been well covered by Murdoch, but he does this well. Takes it, stands up in the contest, gives it to Massey, lays it off to Wharton, does it well again. Back to Murphy, trapped on the boundary line. Good step, and got a free kick. Could have gone either way, but it's won the free kick for too high. I think he's probably a little bit too far. It goes to Dawson, but well intercepted by Old Iggy's, and they've been defensively quite good so far this game. They switch out the far side now. Need numbers to get the far side. Looks like a new ruckman come on for them, Edward Shaw. We'll talk about the ruck duels in a minute, because at the moment Rostrevor clearly on top, and I think they need to consider using a second jumper at the stoppage. So, ball on the centre wing. Old Iggy's do it well through Kieran Reynolds. They come down the line, but Fergus Kernahan does it nicely and intercepts the ball, but in the end it goes out of bounds.
So a throw in on the outer side. A few lads there with the boots open. No doubt a couple of cold beverages being looked after there as a throw-in comes in. Yeah, and they've changed up the ruck. This is Edward Shaw now in the ruck for Iggy's.
Yep.
And it will lead to another stoppage. So if you're being outdone in the ruck, is it maybe just to neutralise the impact a winning ruckman can have? Butterworth straight down the throat of a Rocks teammate who's tackled instantaneously.
Well, we're 13 minutes in, Phil, and Butterworth hasn't missed a ball up yet. And not once have they tried anything different, Old Iggy's.
Not yet, although that one I'm going to give to the Iggy's ruckman. Just a little kick from Rocks, picked up by Manson. He went and got it, got tackled. Got the outside hand pass though, did well to get that clearance. Inside forward 50, 40 metres out. Who's front and square? No, Rocks have got it. Just bangs the boot into the burley. Now they're on. This is from Fantasia onto Reinbrecht into some open space. Murphy, will it sit? He's got it. He spins. He sets. He snaps. And he goals. His first of the day. And the Rox's third. They go to 3-1-19. Old Iggy's 1 goal 6. That's on the Sip and Save scoreboard, which is 1 hour delivery, 7 days a week.
Yeah, well called, Phil. A bit of experience there, wasn't? Trapped it beautifully. And look, he's, I'm not sure how old he is, Nick Murphy, but he's certainly still got some footy smarts about him, hasn't he? Doesn't look like he's got the pace to be able to compete on a one-on-one battle. And Aussie Murdoch is going to have his job cut up with him, a job cut out for him today. Looks like they've made a change though. They've brought Jet Boxer to full forward, giving Murphy a bit of a spell, and Fantasia goes a bit deeper. So throwing plenty of different looks at Old Iggy's. Can they cover it? Butterworth far too easy in the ruck at the moment. Old Iggy's though come through Rook towards their half forward line. Got some numbers here. If they can pick it up cleanly, they do. I reckon that's Jack Armfield. Again, the Rostrevor defence stands up under pressure. Peter Verassi handballs it forward, nicely pushed in the back by Jack Nanson. He used to be a scary bloke, Jack Nanson.
You're thinking of distant cousin Charles.
Charles, that's who I was thinking of.
Maybe a distant cousin.
It's just too easy in the ruck. But Rook, beautiful off hands. Can he keep that down? Well spoiled by Rostrevor's Louis McCormack. Old Iggy's got the numbers though. Good pressure again from Rostrevor. Ends up with Dylan Reinbrecht. He goes into the pit. Wharton takes it. Back in LA goes the barrel. Not much thought given with that kick, and well intercepted again by Old Iggy. Some of the intercept marking, the backline's been terrific early.
And they've had to do it under pressure a couple of times.
Yeah.
This is now with Comazetto. Brings it down the half-forward flank, finds a teammate. This will be Bradley Jones, I think. A bit too far out to score on this occasion. Inbound. This is trouble. There's a lot of red and black around. Somehow Old Iggy's have still got possession. How, I've got no idea. Now it transfers over. Now they hand pass it around Rocks. Back in LO to Mead. They find a player. That must be Dawson.
Yep.
Surely that's Dawson.
Yep,
on the
that's
other
Dawson.
side. Long sleeves. He knows. With the long sleeves, you're easily picked up by the commentary crew.
Yeah, and he kicks it backwards to Demetrius. He's a player I think most clubs should put a little bit of work into. He tends to set him up a little bit from the back half with his run. This time he's forced to kick long down the line. No one able to mark it. Ends up with Ryan Lim. Hacks it on the boot quickly. Good one-on-one contest here. Oh, he's good enough through Murdoch now around the corner. Got some numbers here, although back in Ello's done it well for Rostrevor, as has Verassi. Now it's to Charles Jordan. Now they come this side, Rostrevor. It's got a one-on-one battle. Old Iggy's now player back running with the fly of the ball. Does it well. Forced to kick under pressure. It's all Rostrevor here. Although Iggy's good enough to intercept it and turn something out of nothing, if you don't mind. That is the goal of the day. And we've seen some good goals, so can't quite get a read on the number. Lambo.
Let's go to Lambo.
From ground level at the moment, intensity and pressure both sides. Rostrevor needs to be up by 2 or 3 goals with this breeze fielding up. Back to you, boys.
Yeah, that was Jacob Whitfield who kicked the banana ball from about 40 metres. Interesting kick that he would try that. And, well, there is a little bit of breeze to that end, but I think Lambo talked before the game about it being worth 2, Phil. Sitting here, we're expecting rain. I can't see any evidence of that at this stage, and the breeze doesn't seem that significant, does it?
Look, I had visions about what we might be expecting. The radar map doesn't have much in the way of rain. It's scattered, I think is the best way I can describe it. Butterworth again the tap and doing some extra work at ground level to lay the tackle. Biggs not giving up on the contest though, held it up in the middle to force the secondary contest. And that's where Rocks have looked the most dangerous, when they've got some quick movement, and Old Iggy's not allowing it on that occasion. Hard work in the middle of the cricket pitches. Back and Ali's in the middle of that scrum. And we'll go again. Like the fact we get this play moved on quickly. Hand pass out of nowhere. High kick. Inside 50. Who's at ground level. Was looking for Glover. Kick off the ground virtually by Kernahan. Dawson in the pocket was waiting for him to do something spectacular. His kick is smothered. It's gone out of bounds and will be a throw in about 30 metres around from the Rocks goal.
I think all players were waiting for the boundary umpire to call that. He didn't, so they thought it might have been still in there. Just a bit of a late call. He throws it in now. Plenty of numbers around this ball. This time changing the ruck for Rostrevor. It's Jet Boxer who comes out and takes the ruck work, which allows Butterworth a bit of a breather.
The goal umpire can help with the interpretation, but the goal umpire doesn't have a whistle.
No, that's right. Mead around the corner. Does enough to keep it on track. Looked like a mark to Josh Massey, but the umpire said no. And started reasonably well, Josh Massey, in his 50th. Looks like Big Benny Watkins there thought maybe the same as me that could have been a mark. Perhaps it was touched off the boot. So Iggy's this time get the tap. Goes towards Rook. Or Roke. How do you say it, Phil?
Christian Rook.
Rook.
Yeah.
Rook. Yeah, I don't think it is Rook. I think it's Roke. But anyway, we'll apologies to Mr. and Mrs. Rock.
No, it's Rock, sorry.
Rock, is it? So there's a free kick for holding the ball against Rostrevor. Now they need to run this ball out, Old Iggy's. They currently trail by 7 points. They're on 2 goals. Old Iggy's 3-1. Good start to the game. Christian Rook, who has had plenty of the ball, with this in his hands now, searching for options further up the ground. In the end, it's not the greatest kick. He's looking towards the ruckman. Plenty of numbers there for Rostrevor. McCullum again. Not sure. Did it come off his hands first? I don't know, but that's his 4th mark, I reckon, for the quarter. For a smallish, mid-sized probably, half-back flanker. That's a great start.
You will always be in league history. The inaugural win of the Dartfish Benny. Gee, a little bit of play off the ball there between the 2 8s. Someone might have a look at that a little bit later.
Yeah, Jordan on Centenera.
And we found ourselves a free. So a chance for Rostrevor to go forward here. Too far out to score. 21 minutes gone. They're kicking into the breeze. This is Bill Mead.
Slightly better kick than Bacaniello, but still the distance I think will be a problem, Phil. So I'd like to see him lay it up here, but once again, he's going to be kicking. Remember Bacaniello's kick early in the quarter?
Yep.
Far side of the oval. He won't make the distance from there.
He's going to give it the college try. This lands, at least it didn't land in the goal area. Oh, it's a mark, if you don't mind. Rocks have clunked it. No problem with the distance.
Hayden Swanbury, maybe?
Got it. It might be Swanbury. Got the side on view here. He's just sorting out where the Iggy's players are. It's the correct side for a right footer. Takes a little bit of an angle. Dobbs the goal. I'll give you a number in just a sec. It's not 27.
You keep your eyes on it, Phil. Is it McCormack?
I reckon Charles Kemp, 13.
Charles Kemp, been
What
handy
happened was
addition.
they all came together in a huddle and I lost who the goal scorer was for a second.
Well, 2 goals out of the 2 boys back in from Norwood today makes it pretty handy, doesn't it? Charles Kemp 1, James Wharton 1, Nick Murphy 1, Patrick Dawson 1. There's the 4 goals for Rostrevor. Bradley Jones, Jacob Whitfield and Ozzie Murdoch. Why have I got 3? Ozzie Murdoch wouldn't have one.
Ozzie Murdoch might have kicked it, but it was Whitfield.
All right, we're back in the middle. Again, far too easy. Got to start looking at taking his arm, the Rostrevor, the Old Ignatians ruckman's got to look at take the Rostrevor's arm. Mead out of the centre. I've seen him kick these before though, Phil, on the run. Goes towards Reinbrecht. Can he take it cleanly? He does. He is a left footer. Hooks it around the corner. Murphy in good position. Jeez, they were a bee's whisker away, weren't they, from getting 2 within 30 seconds of each other.
And Reinbrecht, you give him any space inside 50 will usually make you pay.
Wow, how's the kick? That's a beauty, that one.
That's where the wing, you get a really good clearance out of defence. Certainly, I think the breeze may not be a north-south. I mean, this ground is not north-south. It's more northeast-southwest.
Northeast by south-southwest.
That's it. Thank you.
Demetrius has marked the ball. So the marking skills of the Rostrevor defence have been terrific to start this game. I'd suggest to you some of the big blowout scores over the season may indicate to you that fitness may be a problem, but we'll watch for that as it unfolds. As Ryan Lim through the middle of the ground hits Paul Fantasia, and he won't miss for there. And I'll tell you what, at the moment it is the whole forward line getting involved. Players we spoke about before the game, Fantasia, Murphy, McCormack and Dawson, well, 3 out of the 4 have scored a goal in the first quarter. So ominous signs from forward 50 entries, and unfortunately we don't have a statistician here with us today, but I would suggest to you, Phil, that Rostrevor had far more the ball inside their forward 50 than Old Iggy's.
It's come in patches, all Rocks, then a bit of Old Iggy's, and now again Old Rocks to see out the final few minutes. And Paul Fantasia made his Div 1 debut with Rocks in 2013, or his A-grade debut in Div 1, has played 10 straight seasons, as Rocks have in Div 1, but that's all up for grabs this afternoon. Game high, 20-point lead. Quarter time imminent. Butterworth, his up-10th tap. Loved his second efforts around the ground. There was a free off the ball. This was given to Wharton. Wharton's kick inside 50 should have been marked by Iggy's and wasn't. Now it's a chance to work around. Reinbrecht was just considering whether to go
kick.
left, right or over, and it's an Old Ignatians free kick.
Yeah, they're lucky there because dropped as what he should have taken, but Bacanello in the middle, lowers the eyes nicely. Great intercept mark by Christian Rook, who's clearly Iggy's best player to this stage. He goes long out the far side, can't pick that player up, but it's a nice mark. Well attended by...
Reckon that's big, the ruckman.
Butterworth, it is too, Phil. Yep, it's good to see him get involved in the ground. Love to see him. We'll talk about it, the art of ruck work perhaps at quarter time. He goes towards the corridor. Plenty of Iggy, Dawson, first hands on it. Now they come beautifully out of the middle of the back half. Go towards Murphy. Can he take it? Tries to take it on his chest. Does that a bit actually. Just tries to use his body.
That should have been held off the ball.
But I'd suggest to you that he's probably got a lot of goals this year from that, just doing that. Butterworth intercepts now. Iggy's back into the corridor. Kieran Reynolds. They just need to take this ball cleanly. They might have another opportunity. Head high, I think it is.
Right.
So, not sure who that is. Might have been Will Abbott, is it? Yep. Now they go towards the boundary line, so they go out before they come back in. Not enough on it. Rook follows his work up, goes the left foot around the corner check side towards Sam Boots, I think, and a free kick from the umpire against Hayden Swanbury for too high. And I think it is Sam Boots, who is a proven goal kicker. Now he'll be kicking from, I'm going to say 47, 48 perhaps, Phil. I think he'll make the distance. If there's anything in this breeze,
to that end.
Yeah, he should make the distance. He's a renowned goal kicker. This is an important shot there. They're 20 points behind Old Iggy's at the moment, so they really need this one going into quarter time. Sam Boots. I'll tell you what, that's a really good kick, and he's given it to the Rostrevor crowd too. So well done, son of the coach, Sam Boots. That's his first for the day. A much needed goal to Old Iggy's. At quarter time, the scores are Rostrevor 5-2, lead Old Ignatians 3 goals.
Alrighty, we'll take a break very shortly. That's the Sip and Save scoreboard, 1 hour delivery, 7 days a week. Thanks to our much day sponsors, the Banner Crew. We'll be back with Lambo from the huddles, Jacko with the analysis. I'll try to scrounge some scores from around the grounds. Thanks to Filming Footy, this is the Adelaide Footy League.
G'day guys, the Simon Black Academy is all about education and sport. Our partner in education is Torrens University, where our students either do a 1-year diploma course or a 3-year Bachelor of Business. Around that we run a football and athletic program based here at Norwood Oval, and it's all about trying to develop and take our students' game to a new level. Around that also, our third pillar, besides education and football, is personal development. If you want to get involved, check out our website, which is simonblack.com.au.
Well, folks, we're down here at the Banner Crew. Our friend, supporter and sponsor of Between the Posts has joined us. Welcome, Jason Goods.
Thanks, Tony. Nice to be with you.
What can the people out there expect to buy from the Banner Crew and get looked after?
Pretty much anything that you can put your club logo on, or a message from the club, whether it be like you mentioned, a marquee or a flag or an A-frame or a banner, a stubby holder, a pen, anything like that, anything that you can pop the club branding on. Everything's customisable. So basically we've got an in-house design department with 2 graphic designers that can work toward getting the message across that you're after.
We're down here at 318 to 326 St Vincent Street, Port Adelaide. Jason, thank you so much for your support.
Welcome back. Quarter time here at Campbelltown Memorial Oval. The home team, Rostrevor Old Collegians 5-2-32, leading Old Ignatians 3 straight 18. The goal scorers all singles thus far, well spread for Rocks. Pat Dawson, Charles Kemp, Paul Fantasia, James Watton, Nick Murphy. For Old Ignatians, Brett Jones, Sam Boots, Jacob Whitfield. That Sam Boots goal after the siren. So Lambo's in the huddles. We'll get a report from him shortly. Jacko, what'd you make of that first quarter?
Well, I did mention before the game, no Braden de Prince, so the ruckman missing for Old Iggies, and they're getting towed up in the ruck. And the old definition of insanity, Phil, we speak about this a bit, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get a different result. Now, someone needs to tell Tim Big that instead of trying to tap the ball and looking at the ball, forget about looking at the ball in the centre square, because it hasn't worked for him. In 9 attempts, he has not won one, I don't think, centre bounce. So how about just trying to take Butterworth's arm and just trying to hit his arm, and so the ball drops straight. That's what he's got to try and do. So I would hope that at some stage someone gets that message to him, that don't just keep trying to compete one-on-one. Sometimes you've got to understand that the opposition player's got an advantage.
Let's go to Lambo.
Jacko and Phil, quarter time here. Good game of footy. Rocks up by 14 points. Pressure at ground level on both sides, excellent. Look, Iggies were very happy with that quarter. All they want to make sure this quarter they move the ball a lot quicker and pressure on their runners, on ballers. With the Rocks, they were happy with that quarter. Probably could have kicked a few more goals if they got the ball on quicker, and that's what they want to do this quarter, even though it's against the breeze a little bit. Look, it's a terrific game at ground level, boys, from up there. I'm not sure if you're seeing the same, but it's a really good, solid game of footy, boys, and let's bring on the second quarter, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, Lambo. Quarter time around the other games, Buddy Bet Division 1. Prince Alfred 3-6, 24 Brighton, 1 straight 6. The Princes by 18 at Brighton, and St Peter's leading Port District 4-2, 26 to 2-3, 15. Quarter time at St Peter's. Second quarter underway here. You're with Sean Jackson.
Well, I see Big learns anything. Nothing. Butterworth gets first tap, follows his work up. Trying to take it out of the middle was Charles Kemp for Rostrevor. Nothing doing. So let's have a look, folks. So we got exactly the same scenario, and again Kemp runs in front on. This time he gets a little hand down, so follows his work up with a handball. Could be a free kick here to Old Iggies. No, so we'll have a third restart in about 20 seconds. So I would change my angle if I was Kemp here. Come around from the side. He's done that now, and Butterworth still easily reaches over the top of him, but the competitiveness of the Old Iggies players in the middle is quite good. In fact, it ends up they win a free kick against Charles Kemp for holding the ball. And it's Christian Rook, who's probably been a real candidate for best on ground. His first quarter was terrific. He's certainly giving Old Iggies a fair crack today. He goes long, but Daniel McCullum again. Now, the player on Daniel McCullum needs to take a bit of responsibility for that too. You could see that for 50 metres away that the ball was not going to go in his direction. So you had to change and pick up McCullum, because him and Tulio Demetrius, as he gets the ball back, are chopping them apart from the back half of the ground. He now goes towards Fantasia, jumps early, takes a really good mark. He kicks into 1-on-2. Reinbrecht is there. No one can take it cleanly. Old Iggy's got the numbers. Rook will have it, does it well, switches to play. Can't read the number at all here, so we're all just guessing.
Good luck.
He goes long. Again, McCallum gets it out for Rostrevor. Gives it to Verassi. Verassi gets it back again. He's well gang tackled by Old Iggy's. Daniel McCallum, he's experienced to just know when to lay off of his player is really hurting Old Iggy's.
Just for the record, that was number 7, Hugh Ferrari, and most of the 7 completely covered in mud.
Well, if I had a Ferrari, Phil, I wouldn't have it in mud.
Well, there's 2. There's Will and there's Hugh.
Well, let's hope one of them looks clean and fast.
And red.
Yes.
Throw in, half-forward flank for Old Ignatians. They got work to do, trailing by 14. Of course, it was Rox who led by 20 when they last met, and Old Iggy stormed home. Verassi took on 2 defenders, got the kick away just in the nick of time.
McCallum again.
Rock players here. That was Kernahan to McCallum. I'll tell you what, if you want to get a touch of the footy, just tag McCallum, because he'll take you to it.
Exactly right, Phil. I can't believe they haven't tried to put someone to lock down on him, because he is best on ground by the length of the straight. Bacanello has it. He switches the play out to Demetrius, who's the other one who's hurting them. He lowers the eyes beautifully to Dawson. He's clean bowled though. Went straight through him like a night of after Indian. Didn't quite phrase that the way I wanted, Phil, but you know what I mean.
Let's say like a bowling ball at a 10-pin bowling alley.
Yeah, well, like me after a night on the Indian, I would suggest. Anyway, Old Iggy's have it locked inside the back pocket.
Couple of people there sitting on the benches down the netball court pocket here at Campbelltown towards the ruck. Reading it well off hands was Manson. He kicks it down towards his team on a fifth. They've got a couple of numbers here if they can work it. Oh, he went a long way with the ball there to Reynolds. Umpire gave him some benefit of the doubt there, I think. Quick hands, quick kick inside 50. Verassi all by himself, got no idea where his forward was. Says thank very much, and he picks out Bacanello. Under a little bit of pressure, but up for the task. From the short to the tall, on to Reinbrecht, and Rocks are away.
Yeah, they go towards Fantasia, and why wouldn't you after his last mark? Does that easily as well, lays it forward to Swanbury. He kicks around the corner. Dawson's the target. Little man does enough to get the ball to ground. 2-on-2. We'll have a boundary throw in. So good quick movement. The other one, a bit of carry on behind the play here with Charles Jordan. He likes to throw his weight around, and McCallum looks like he's loose at this stage, but Verassi's the other one who's playing good footy for Rostrevor behind the ball. As Old Iggy's take this one away from the clearance. They kick long, aiming for the centre square, but a mark of the day contender. One-hander, if you don't mind. I think it's Abbott, I'm not 100% sure, but the kick, unfortunately, is not as good as the mark. Ends up okay, and then not okay as the ball trickles out of bounds. But gee, it was a terrific mark. If we get a replay of that at some stage, hopefully for you folks. One-hander. Anyway, we're locked inside the boundary throw-in. Again, Rostrevor too good away from the stoppage. Ryan Lim, I've got to say, they're under the pump continuously at stoppage because not getting first hand on ball, but their defensive work away from the stoppage is pretty good, Old Ignatians. I mentioned we don't have the luxury of stats today, but I think it'd be fair to say Rostrevor are in front with the clearance and certainly in front with the inside 50s and in front with the biggest stat of all, or the key performance indicator, and that is the scoreboard. They lead 5-2, 3 goals, no side yet to score this quarter, Phil.
Been a very quiet first 5 minutes, mainly played between the 50s. Can't say that any sides even really had a scoring opportunity of note. The kick inside the inside 50s for Old Ignatians, again a pack of players. Umpire will come in once they find it.
Might instigate a rule that any Old Ignatian player who comes off the ground, instead of getting his boots clean, needs to get his number.
Needs to get his jumper.
Yeah, his number clean.
Well, what they need to do is put a constant colour background.
Yeah.
Just in that top part of the back of the jersey.
Yeah. Make it blue or yellow, and the white would stand out okay. But the white against the
You'd be old enough to remember back when colour TV first came in. We went from the black and white to colour.
Yep.
And how that changed footy, and we had clash jerseys and all that sort of stuff come into it. But Rocks have got it here. And there's only 2 players behind him. So it's a really crowded forward area. Well led to it, well taken by Rook. He's been the standout for the Wolves thus far today. Down the outer side. Umpire said Rock's free.
Louis McCormack, I think, who normally plays forward, seems to be spending a little bit of time in defence. McCallum gets it, he's leather poisoning. Bootsy definitely needs to do something about Daniel McCallum. It's on again behind the play again with a couple of Rocks boys. I'll follow the ball, you follow the fight. Demetrius has it.
Okay, thank you.
And Josh Massey might win a free kick in his 50th. No, he's given one away, I think. Might have been advantage, penalised Old Iggy's. Like to see Old Iggy's move the ball on a bit quicker. They've just been a bit stagnant, switch the play a bit. This is a good switch of play here to Connor Bristow. Goes with the left foot to the half-forward line. It's Ryan Breck from Rostrevor who's in the best position. However, that could be too high. Umpire didn't see it. Old Iggy's crowd certainly called for it. And we'll have a ball up. McCallum again away from the stoppage. This time, good mark. Nice hit on that player by Wharton. And I think that's Jack Armfield who's taken that mark. It is. Good mark under a bit of heat. He's now got 50 metres, which will be actually 25, I think it is. I think it's 50. This takes him just inside the 50, so let's see if he does what Rostrevor did in the first quarter, where too far out, have a shot, didn't lay the ball up. Like to see this ball go to the top of the square or to a lead, lower the eyes, have a look, and he does that beautifully. Not a great kick, unfortunately, but right idea.
Yeah,
Paul Fantasia worked his way all the way into the back half to intercept that mark. He now switches the play. Ryan Lim locked it onside the pocket fill.
Chance for Rocks to settle things down a little bit. Not for long. Good mark taken on the outer side. Getting just a tad dark here.
Yeah.
There's a bit of rain to the north of us passing through. Not sure we're going to cop it.
Fantasia again.
With the cloud cover, they certainly darken things a bit. Looking to see if we get any light covering. And there's some wonderful work by one of the Old Iggy's forwards.
It's a good spoil, Phil,
Jennifer
but
Bacanello.
good spoil. But you used to have a rule that you either take the ball or the body. I think you had an opportunity there to take both.
Connor Bristow coming from nowhere to force the throw in.
This could have actually put real heat on Tim Bacanello, who's a really important player for Rostrevor, and still got the spoil away.
From the clearance, the kick's away. 2-on-1 Rocks. Comes to ground, umpire comes in and says my ball. So, almost 10 minutes gone on the Sip and Save scoreboard. Rocks 5-2-32. Ignatians 3 straight, 18.
Yeah, no score, so the scoring has definitely dried up as Bacanello goes around the corner. Carl Hodges is there for Old Iggy's. This is where he's been forced to go back. So I'd rather see him take the play on there and try and get things moving a bit quicker. It does appear as if Rostrevor are really conscious about the defence here, because Paul Fantasia has definitely gone back behind the ball. I'm not sure why they're doing that, given they had so much of the ball in the first quarter. Swanbury now intercepts. He goes to, I'm not sure who ends up with it, but we go towards Murphy. Can he do enough to get Murdoch onto the ball? He can, but he's tackled well. And we'll see what happens from the back half as the Rostrevor boys all now come running. McCallum, Ryan Breck, Verassi all pushing up the ground along with Kane Cheney. Ball goes towards Verassi now. Good enough to keep it in. Hooks it into the corridor. Bacanello in good position as he tends to. Well tackled by Rook. Important ball to be won here. Again McCallum. And Bacanello should have been holding the ball, and it was in the end. Just a slow decision, but Christian Rook, I think, with the free kick. and this is the one they're getting held up. Need to start taking this player on the mark. And again, another 25-metre penalty. So
couldn't have been on Bacanello. He was there like a statue.
I think it might have been for verbal, Phil. So Christian Rook goes long. Good spoil from Rostrevor. They've got all the numbers at the front of the contest as well. That could have been too high, and in fact it is, and a free kick to Rostrevor in the back pocket.
Wow, so 12 minutes gone, not a single point added to the quarter-time score, and it hasn't got within 25 metres of either team's goal as yet.
Yeah, a lot of numbers around the ball, a lot of numbers in Old Ignatians' forward line. So, sure what they're trying to do here, Rostrevor, but they had clear ascendancy in the first quarter. And
well, what I'm trying to work out, Jacko, is who is this favouring? I mean, Rock's had the momentum, that's dried up, but then in theory they've got the wind and the scoring end, so it favours Old Iggies if they're not letting him score much.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't attack when you've got the breeze, is the question. I guess that's a little bit strange to us. So clearly they have a player behind the ball. It's McCullum without an opponent now. He comes in as the extra at the restart. Ryan Brett gets it. Handball's off. Come towards the boundary line. So Old Ignatians. Lawrence Comazetto goes back from whence it came, and I guess that's the challenge for Old Iggies, if they can get some better angle with the ball instead of coming back down the same lines.
I mean, it feels like Rocks are dominating, and it's 7 scoring shots to 3, but it's only a 14-point game.
Yep.
A couple of lucky breaks Iggy's way, and they're right back line ball in this contest.
Yeah, and you'd have to think that maybe Old Iggies have an advantage in fitness based on some of the scores we've seen. Oh! What a great mark by Ozzy Murdoch. We know we can mark them at the best of times, but geez, the kick was terrible. Absolutely shocker. And now they've given away a free kick. So, wasted mark. Paul Fantasia wastes no time. That's what I mean that Old Iggies have got to start doing. And Murphy drops what he should have taken. And in the end, it's a goal to Rostrevor. And they're appealing for perhaps touched. So I think it's going to be a goal, though, wouldn't it, Phil? But certainly can't go to the
goal
TV replay. It's a goal. Yeah, it's a goal. And disappointing. Ozzy Murdoch took up the mark of the day. Lambo.
Jacko and Phil, first score for 14 minutes. So playing safe footy out here. So the first team that starts attacking using the centre line a little bit more will get more goals. That's the difference at the moment. They're both playing safe footy. Back to you.
Yeah, so keep your eye on the injured players, Lambo, because that looks like Liam Elliott Mitchell has come off from Old Iggies. It's your number one job as a boundary rider.
And that was Josh Mitchell. So Josh Massey came 50 with the soccer goal.
Bad kick from Ozzy Murdoch. This time they come out of the middle, Old Iggies. The kick's not the greatest, and it's the loose player again in McCullum who's able to take it. Could have been holding the ball. Old Iggy supporters want it. The heat's gone up a little bit in the last minute or so. Now they come at it. Rostrevor's Louis McCormack goes towards the boundary line. Now, if you're Old Iggies, you probably want to try and play a forward game. So what it means is the ball's locked inside their forward line now. They want to push all the players up, get cover in behind the ball and hold it in until they can score a goal. Let's see if they're good enough. Clearance is super important. 7 TS takes it. Don't give away silly free kicks. They're good enough that time in the tackle, Old Iggies, to not give away a free kick. And they've got a beautiful position 20 metres out from goal if someone can take it. Butterworth hits it, but only as far as Sam Boots. He goes around the corner. Still alive. Again, Boots. Can anyone get clean purchase on this ball? The pressure from Rostrevor is terrific. And again, we'll have another boundary throw-in, but we're trying to play a forward half game, Old Iggies. Here's your opportunity. Look back behind the ball and make sure every Rostrevor player is manned up on. And keep the ball in front of you.
Try and bottle it up until that goal is given up.
It's going to be Rocks with the clearance for the moment, and just coming on was Ryan Lim.
That's the one I'm talking about, Phil. No one standing alongside Ryan Lim. The quick kick under pressure.
I mean, someone came off, so that opponent was thinking, well, who do I mark now? And you think, until told otherwise, maybe mark the guy who comes on, but maybe that simplifies it a bit too much. Love the work at ground level by Big. But we've got it's going to be a throw in. Right at the interchange gate. Chance for both sets of fans to have a say on things.
Dropped 5 degrees in the last minute too, Phil, I reckon.
Yeah, might have to check that radar in a sec. See what's on its way. They do get the clearance on this occasion, Old Iggy's only about 10 metres gone. Kick smothered. They seem to be where the ball is though, and they seem to be able to clear it a bit better. Varussi though runs into trouble. Now it's a slip slop slap in the middle of the oval. And now it's a race for pace. Jacko into some space.
Yeah, good kick to grass. This will be a race for the quickies. It ends up with Jordan, kicks it around the corner towards the boundary line. They seem to believe that the boundary line is their friend, and it has certainly saved them on many occasions in the first quarter and a half. We are 17 minutes in, only one score for the quarter. That's a goal to Rostrevor. So Old Iggy's pretty reasonable effort against the breeze, but for some reason the play has been down their end for a fair bit. And here's another opportunity. They go in 1-on-2. They take it cleanly. Beautiful handball to a running player on the inside, and that is much better footy, I should say. The Will Ferrari, the red Ferrari, I reckon, gets his first for the day, and a much needed goal for Old Iggy's as they go out to 4 goals. Margin now 14 points.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
A couple of highlights in what's been a quarter devoid of them. Although there was that specky mark.
Oh yeah.
Followed by the atrocious kick, but the mark was specky. not just the guy who marked it, but his 2 teammates that sort of fell over the top of him in the front.
Well, it's like when a bloke takes a mark like that in the forward line and then misses the goal.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the same thing, but
such a deflation. Isn't
yeah,
it?
and terrific mark, Aussie Murdoch, but dumb kick, mate.
Alright, we're back in the middle.
No
But didn't
opposition.
even get an opponent on that occasion. Saw the Bigs actually watching it all from the sideline. Rocks trying to get inside 50, trying to soccer it forward was Paul Fantasia. For the moment, Iggy's have the numbers. Again, their kick, free kick found after disposal. We lost it a little bit because the interchange bench roof is blocking the way. They're giving it to Rook. He centres it up to Armfield. True centre half-back position. He says, someone give me something.
Well, this is where Murdoch's got to be running for him. He's a good mark. Look, he got plenty of space on Murphy, and he doesn't present Aussie there, and they're forced to come back down the same line. And in the end, you know, no purchase. It's a turnover. Ryan Breck to Mead, and it's back with Rostrevor.
Yeah, quick turn. When Rocks get open space, they do have the ability. They've used the quick handball and the run pretty well at times today. That was part holding the ball, part sling. In the end, nothing adjudicated.
Yeah, Carl Hodges needs to understand there. They just take the ball out.
Yeah.
Don't take the ball. Just hit the ball out of bounds when you're not sure.
14-point margin. I'm, to be honest, surprised it's this close.
Yeah, it feels like a 5-6 goal margin, doesn't it? And yet it's only 3.
We've just ticked into time on of the second quarter. And I'm wondering at some point if they're going to think about putting these lights on.
Yeah. Well, there's rain coming, Phil. If you look above us, there's rain coming shortly.
Yep. In fact, I can tell you it's just a little bit. Last a few minutes. We'll be here any moment.
Will Abbott, experienced player now for Old Iggy's, captain of the side. He needs to stand up and give them 5 really good minutes to get them back in this game by half time. Not that they're out of the game at 14 points, but there's a nice kick to Ferrari. I want to see some run generated from the back half. We haven't had that from Old Iggy's this quarter. It's been like this, stop, start, footy. Give the positives to Rostrevor for their defensive work. Bootsy takes it for Old Iggy's. Now they're out, Old Ignatians. Can they get something from this forward 50? McCullum it is, who reads it best again. So forget about going for the ball, son. Just go to McCullum. That's all you need to do. He is like a magnet. Switches it out the far side to Dylan Reinbrecht. He'll come back on his left. Does it. Kicks long towards Dawson. And reading it far better than his old Ignatians opponent, who needed to come back and get body on body.
Three of your big Rocks players there. McCullum, Reinbrecht, and now Paddy Dawson.
Well, take the ball or take the body. He didn't take either, the old Iggy's lad there. And Patrick Dawson, he's a notable goal kicker, Phil. Yeah. I'll back him from here.
Shouldn't be too far, Dawson. 22 goals on the season. Make that 23. His second of the day. He becomes the first multiple goal scorer in the best players last week on the goal kickers list this week. And now it's 7-2-44 to Rocks. 4 straight to Old Ignatians. That's on the Sip and Save scoreboard. 1 hour delivery, 7 days a week.
Just thinking before, while Dawson was having his shot after he'd taken that mark, I can't recall too many marks inside 50 by Old Ignatians.
Yeah.
Maybe one in the first quarter this end of the ground, but certainly not a lot.
It was the shot by Jones, but that was actually a fairly long distance shot that scored their first goal from memory, which is not to be relied upon, I should add. So this quarter, Rocks have kicked 2 goals straight. Iggy's have kicked 1 goal straight. It has been a pretty accurate game, 11 goals too. But there's a turnover. Here's a chance. No, the kick missed the target. Stepping in was Jack Manson to save the day for Old Iggy's. They finished the first quarter with a goal after the siren. We really need something similar here. Race for pace forward 50. Now why? Oh no, the handball got out. That's why I thought for a sec he was tackled with the ball. It's gone back to go forward for Old Ignatians, but in the end, another uncontested mark. They're the ones that drive your coaches nuts. When you go inside 50 and the opponent's mark uncontested, which is what happened there for Kane Genie.
Yeah, Will Mead has it now. Under a bit of pressure, he's forced to handball quickly. It's intercepted by Old Iggy's and a good tackle put on that play, although the umpire says maybe not, a little bit high against Louis McCormack, I think. So Iggy's will have the chance to relieve a little bit of pressure. This time they do it a bit better, although the kick again is poor. Puts his teammate under a fair bit of pressure. They're able to get it on quickly into the forward line. And it's all Rostrevor. And again, the best man on the ground, Daniel McCullum, takes a mark in front of
he could open a Butterworth beanie shop. He's been going.
He seems to know when we are calling the games, Daniel McCullum. In fact, here he is with the ball again in his hands. And why you wouldn't man up on him has got me beat. Are they not seeing that from the interchange bench? I'm not sure. He goes down the line towards Butterworth, but this time intercepting for Old Iggy's. They lower the eyes, and a much better kick into their forward line. Kieran Reynolds has it on the boundary line. I think he's within range distance-wise, although he's kicked an absolute stinker. Played on quickly. Now they're under the pump again. Beautiful kick, though, under a bit of pressure to have the composure to turn around and hit that target was a terrific piece of play. See if you can find out who kicked that ball for Old Iggy's, Phil.
We need the Simon Black replay for that, but I can tell you it's in the hands of Will Ferrari, who's already delivered a goal.
Yeah, he's kicked one so far.
I was just thinking, do we have a potential for a clanger sponsor?
He'd get his money's worth today. Will Ferrari certainly makes no clanger out of that. That is his second. He's the first multiple goal scorer for Old Iggy's as they push out now to 5 goals straight. They trail Rostrevor, who are 7-2 by 14 points. And look, as I mentioned a couple of times, I think they'll probably believe that their fitness might get them over the line based on some of the results we've seen. But boy, they need to start getting it right in the front half of the ground, don't they? They've just been outmarked continually there, and you see Fantasia's now gone back loose. We don't play a 6-6 rule here, so they have a spare. Rostrevor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fantasia the spare for Rostrevor. Old Iggy's have a spare themselves.
Elliot
I
Mitchell.
think Elliot Liam Elliott Mitchell. Now, I'm not sure why you'd be doing this when you've got the breeze if you're Rostrevor, unless you may be saying just trying to shut it down for the rest of the quarter, but that is the rest of the quarter. And, well, the second quarter didn't actually get the highlights that the first quarter produced, and the scores at half-time, Rostrevor 7-2, lead Old Ignatians 5 straight.
Yep, the quarter was a draw. 2 goals each to Rox and to Old Ignatians. We are where we were at quarter time, a 14-point to the home team. We will take a break, come back and give you the analysis, the goal scorers, Lambo's thoughts from ground level. We'll get you some scores, including the women's grand finals that have started this weekend. Plenty happening around the Adelaide Footy League, all brought to you thanks to Filming Footy.
G'day guys, the Simon Black Academy is all about education and sport. Our partner in education is Torrens University, where our students either do a 1-year diploma course or a 3-year Bachelor of Business. Around that we run a football and athletic program based here at Norwood Oval, and it's all about trying to develop and take our students' game to a new level. Around that also, our third pillar, besides education and football, is personal development. If you want to get involved, check out our website, which is simonblack.com.au.
Well folks, we're down here at the Banner Crew. Our friend, supporter and sponsor of Between the Posts has joined us. Welcome Jason Goods.
Thanks, Tony. Nice to be with you.
What can the people out there expect to buy from the Banner Crew and get looked after?
Pretty much anything that you can put your club logo on, or a message from the club, whether it be like you mentioned, a marquee or a flag or an A-frame or a banner, a stubby holder, a pen, anything like that, anything that you can pop the club branding on. Everything's customisable. So basically we've got an in-house design department with 2 graphic designers that can work toward getting the message across that you're after.
We're down here at 318 to 326 St Vincent Street, Port Adelaide. Jason, thank you so much for your support.
G'day guys, the Simon Black Academy is all about education and sport. Our partner in education is Torrens University, where our students either do a 1-year diploma course or a 3-year Bachelor of Business. Around that we run a football and athletic program based here at Norwood Oval, and it's all about trying to develop and take our students' game to a new level. Around that also, our third pillar, besides education and football, is personal development. If you want to get involved, check out our website, which is simonblack.com.au.
Well, folks, we're down here at the Banner Crew. Our friend, supporter and sponsor of Between the Posts has joined us. Welcome, Jason Goods.
Thanks, Tony. Nice to be with you.
What can the people out there expect to buy from the Banner Crew and get looked after?
Pretty much anything that you can put your club logo on, or a message from the club, whether it be like you mentioned, a marquee or a flag or an A-frame or a banner, a stubby holder, a pen, anything like that, anything that you can pop the club branding on. Everything's customisable. So basically we've got an in-house design department with 2 graphic designers that can work toward getting the message across that you're after.
We're down here at 318 to 326 St Vincent Street, Port Adelaide. Jason, thank you so much for your support.
Well, there you have it, folks. There's the cricket pitches here at Campbelltown Memorial Oval. Not much action at the moment because it is half-time in a relegation battle. And it's the hometown Rocks, Old Collegian 7-2-44 leading Old Ignatians 5 straight 30. It was Rocks by 14 points at quarter time. Both sides kicked 2 goals without a miss. And it's Rocks by 14 points at the main break. Scattered showers around the scene. There was the briefest of raising of an umbrella in front of me earlier, Jacko. I think it was up for about 30 seconds, then it got put back down again. It's that kind of afternoon.
Yeah, we get teased a bit by the weathermen, don't we, here in Adelaide? They promise you rain and
it doesn't happen. And you can see around us, and we've got wonderful backdrop of the Adelaide Hills. Some of them have got rain, we can see that. Tad of blue sky. Round 16, Buddy Bet Division 1, some other scores at half time. Down at Brighton Oval, Prince Alfred 7-7-49, Brighton 2-3-15. So that's opened up for Princes, who are storming up the ladder. Lead that one by 34 points. And St Peter's, well, I've still got the quarter time score. They led Port District by 15. And a quarter time score, half time score now, up the road at Tea Tree Gully, where the Gullies 4-3-27. Trail the Goodwood Saints 8-5-53, so a 26-point margin there. We might have the close one of the ones we've got. Still no update from Glenunga and Paynham.
yeah, well, Goodwood Saints will want to make a recovery from their effort last week.
Yeah.
It was, sitting in top spot. As I mentioned on the show during the week, it's a little bit like the Steve Bradbury division at the moment. They get top spot, they fall over.
Yeah, Port District look all right. I mean, you saw them last week against Brighton. They won without dominating.
Well, they shouldn't
teams
have won.
can't seem to score. So how did Port District win without deserving to win?
Well, I think that Brighton, with all due respect, were poorly coached last week. There were a couple of obvious moves watching the game that they didn't counteract, which cost them. You know, the young kid that played on the wing for Port Districts, whose name just escapes me at the minute, set the game alight, because at half-time Brighton were up by 4 goals and were all over them, and then Port District's wingman just took the game apart in the third quarter, and they did nothing about it until it was too late, and the game was won by three-quarter time, and they hung on to win. So, look, I'm impressed by Port Districts, but they lack a bit of height in the front half of the ground. Now, they may well get Tom Corcoran back, who's played most of the year at Port Magpies. I noticed he's not an in. He's played 2, so he'll need to play the next 2 games to qualify. They won't get the other lad who's on their list at the Crows. They won't get him to qualify. But yeah, it's probably just in the tall forwards that they lack a little bit. James Batty now playing in the reserves. Michael Carter in the Bs as well at Port Districts, which is a bit of a surprise. Thought maybe they put him back last week just to shake him up a little bit, but he's played 3 games to Port Magpies this year.
Yeah.
And he is in the Bs again today for Port Districts.
So, yeah, that's staggering.
Isn't it?
I mean, there's a couple of Old Ignatians boys here that have played C's, B's and A's for Old Ignatians, but you don't really see players across 3 separate grades of football in one season.
No, you wouldn't imagine if you were a top-up player at Port Magpies that you couldn't get a game in your local club.
Maybe that's what Koshy's complaining about.
Yeah, well...
Oh, mate, actually, don't get me started on that. I couldn't believe it.
Where would they go? They're threatening to go. Well, go. Go with everyone's blessing.
They've got huge injuries. They're worried about the development of the players in the Sandford. Doesn't matter what league they're in. If they're injured, they're not going to play for anyone.
Oh, exactly.
So it's an absolute load of rubbish to, I think, disguise the fact that Power can't play finals. But let's talk about finals. Some scores from the women's. We have a couple of premiers in 2022. Division 6 grand final down at St Mary's. Edwardstown 3-5-23 beat Loretto Old Scholars 2-4-16. So Edwardstown got up by 7. Congratulations to them, one of the original women's teams back in the day. But for Loretto, unfortunately, they're coming back here for the after matches, so won't quite be the party that would be with the premiership. And Div 4, a bit of an upset here. Pulteney 3-2-20 beat Pembroke Old Scholars, the Queens, 2-4-16. And that's great for Pulteney. They got relegated in the men's, but they're premiers in the women. How good's that?
They've already been relegated. We'd normally wait till the end of the season, Phil, but they haven't yet to win a game.
Okay, well, unless 2 other teams have salary cap issues and lose all their points, Pulteney are going down to
and not
Div
just
5.
getting relegated, Phil. Their A's and B's in the men have not won a game, and I think they'd be the
I
only
wasn't
club.
going to I think I painted enough of a contrast without going that far.
Well, you've got from one side who can't win a game to the other side representative who wins the premiership. So they are certainly holding the
women
flag.
are taking over at Pulteney.
So if the Pembroke girls are called the Queens, what are the Pulteney girls called?
Well, Pulteney are the Blues, aren't they? I should know. That's my school, but I think they're the Blues. Which translate to women and men, thankfully. Couple of prelim finals. Here's an interesting one. Div 5. Fitzroy are in a grand final. They scored 11 behinds. Beat Woodville South 1-1-7. They'll play Eastern Park next week, and that will be streamed on Filming Footy. Div 3.
Well, they're the Collingwood. Fitzroy women's are the Collingwood of the
Adelaide. Out of nowhere.
Yeah, they've won 7 or 8 in a row now. They started the season with 5 or 6 losses.
They got regraded.
They did. They get downgraded. And even when they got downgraded, they lost the first 2 or 3, and then they had a win, and it's just propelled them. And
absolutely. And very quickly, the last one, Division 3, Brighton 3-4-22 beat Golden Grove 2-3-15. 7-point win to the Bombers. They'll play Goodwood Saints in the Div 3 grand final next week. Still playing now, the Div 2 and Div 1 reserves and the Div 2 and Div 1 league coming up a little later.
Well, let's have a quick bit of a chat about this game, Phil. And I'm not sure what happened in the second quarter. We perhaps got the breeze wrong sitting up here. Because the breeze, Lambo told us before the game, was left of screen. It actually turns out it's right of screen,
but
folks.
The rain's coming from the southwest, so I don't get that.
Yeah, but certainly both looked like Rostrevor put a player behind the ball for a fair bit of that quarter, and which nullified their ability to score goals, and which they'd been really good in the first quarter, kicking 5. And they managed, were they 5 or 6 at quarter time? Rostrevor
5-2.
5. So they kicked 2 goals for the quarter into the breeze. But it was some of it was hard to watch, and I guess the area that needs improvement from Old Ignatians is their run out of the back half. I'd really like to see Ozzy Murdoch take the game on a little bit. He's doing a reasonable job on Nick Murphy, but with all due respect to Nick Murphy, he's not the quickest player out in the ground, and Ozzy Murdoch has an opportunity to run off him and create some run and dash out of the back lines, and we're not seeing that. And that's, if they're to win the game, they need to start being a little bit more daring with the footy from the back half of the ground. And conversely, Rostrevor, in the first quarter, they were all over Old Iggy's at the back end of the ground. Daniel Callum best on ground at half time, clearly. And at the front end of the ground, all their forwards were playing good footy. Fantasia. Who else is up there? The little fella, Patrick Dawson, who's kicked 2 goals. James Wharton kicked an absolute beauty to start the game off. Charles Kemp from Norwood Reserves kicked a nice goal as well. So I just hope that the game reverts back to now a one-on-one game, much like we had in the first quarter, and the scoring opens up. Otherwise, we'll see scores like we saw in the women's finals, Phil. 2
Yeah,
goals to 1 to win a grand final.
Yeah, 11 points to win a prelim. Well, yeah, and that's the nature of those games in the finals where no possession is easy. 14-point lead here. Want to thank our sponsors, the Banner Crew, which are our match day sponsor. Also, Buddy Bet, cross-sponsoring Division 1, the Sip and Save scoreboard, 1 hour delivery 7 days a week. Wakefield Sports Clinic, Police Credit Union, O'Connell's Meat Central Market, the Simon Black Academy. Of course, our post-match awards, New Balance Best on Ground, and McCullum at the moment has the lead in that, you'd think. Gets the $100 New Balance voucher, the iconic Dartfish beanie. Simon Black Academy Play of the Game. We're going to have to try and remember this one, Jacko. It was a goal early on by Rocks, I reckon. It was Wharton, that's right. With the solo effort.
Yeah.
He was on the ground, got the ball, stood up, we passed a player and slotted the first. That's the front runner at the moment. And then the Moseley Bar and Kitchen, the Team Player Award. Looking after your mates. Who you got in that one?
Probably Paul Fantasia, mate, because he had a role up forward, and then for the teams, and was doing well in that role. And for the balance of the team, he went back loose in the second quarter, played a role for the team, and took some nice marks in the back line. So I think he's probably been the best team player for that reason. Now he's gone back forward, so the front half of the ground looks very similar now to what it was in the first quarter. You've got Louis McCormack up there, Nick Murphy, Paul Fantasia, James Dawson, Dylan Reinbrecht, and James Wharton. So much the same as they started the game.
And just for the moment, the ground is bathed in sunshine. Just a few shadows from the trees at the northern end. Third quarter underway, and you're with Sean Jackson.
Well, let's watch Tim Bigg's eyes here. Once again, his eyes are only for the footy, and he's getting nowhere near it. Now, come on, Tim.
So you're saying stop playing the ball, play the man.
Exactly right, Phil. Exactly right. Anyway, he's changing his angle perhaps now at this bounce. He's okay, but once again, it's clear, isn't it, that the first hand is coming to Butterworth. And this is like to see him try something different. Fergus Kernahan's won a free kick. He's going to put Rostrevor. Reinbeck knocked down behind the play. Murphy takes a beautiful overhead mark to get things going. So much like the first quarter, we're 37 seconds in. Rostrevor will have first shot on goal for the half.
Yeah, they're obviously thinking they've got the breeze.
Yep.
And
so
that these outside 50 shots are gettable.
Well, he actually feinted to play on there. The umpire missed that, so he's going to have to kick it himself. And that is an absolute stinker.
Watch out for the guys sitting on the park bench. There's a footy coming your way.
Yeah, just based on what we've seen with the kicking field, and I know Lambo's told the breeze is going that in, it doesn't feel like that there's much in it.
Yeah.
So I see Ozzy Murdoch is a target for this kick long down the line. He's the bloke I'd be aiming for here. He's a good pack mark. So let's see what happens. The ball is going in his direction. Ozzy Murdoch flies. Well, he would have marked it, but in the end, Will Ferrari jumped in front of him and took a beautiful catch. So good play. But this is where I'd like to see Ozzy peel off. You've got the play. Oh, again they try and fly. Have it's Bacanello for Rostrevor, who ducks his head much like the Collingwood Ginnivan there. He gets the free kick. Gets a lot of those free kicks by doing that, Bacanello. He goes down the line, lowers his eyes to Fantasia, who should have got a free kick and did. Kane Cheney pushing the back. Stands the mark. Fantasia handballs to Tulo Dematius. No one wants that. In the end, it falls straight into the hands of Jack Armfield. Really like to see a switch of play here. We've been up and down the same line 4 times. You want on this side so you can see it, Phil. I want to open up the play.
So
he goes long.
Those old Iggy's numbers.
Yep, it's the definition of insanity. That's 3 times they've come back down that same line.
Kane Cheney has it. Right in front of the interchange gates. Puts it to the 50-metre arc. Reads it well off hands. I think that was Fantasia 16. Whoever it is, he's put it to the square. Just the... That's not a mark, surely.
He's paid the mark.
Oh, my goodness. Nick Murphy has somehow managed to Convinced the umpire that wasn't a push in the back and met with the umpire a lot closer. Pretty much you'd think can't miss territory for Murphy. He doesn't. His second, and Rocks go to one of their biggest leads of the game, 8-2-50. Old Ignatians 5-0-30. I would love to see the Simon
We get a
Blunt
replay of that
on
mark slash free kick.
It's back a little bit. But, yeah, I was waiting for the arm to go extended, and it never did.
Like he wants to get into a wrestle every time the ball's in his vicinity, and he took a really nice mark only 30, 40 seconds earlier than that, Murphy. But a good goal to get Rostrevor underway in the second half. And, well, nothing's changed from a Old Ignatians perspective. They're playing the same line 3 times. Butterworth smashes the ball forward in the direction of Mead, well intercepted by Old Iggies. Now they come this side of the ground, the left foot, beautiful kick into the corridor to Will Ferrari. He handballs it dangerously, you can see what he's trying to do. They fumble the ball. Jack Manson, got to stand up and take the ball when you're under a bit of pressure, son. Now Rostrevor, long, well marked by Louis McCormack. He plays on, goes long towards Murphy. Watch him play the man beautifully. Dylan Reinbrecht on the left foot. Just couldn't quite keep it in the end, but they're looking threatening, Rostrevor.
They are. It's the game high is the 20-point lead. We've been here a couple of times before, and Iggies have got the next goal. 13 goals to kick today. That's been one of the more remarkable things about what you'd expect. This game is sort of, you expect it to be a pretty desperate, dour, not particularly skillful survival battle, but the goal kicking's been good. Rocks have worked it around. They've got the snap on from DeMatteis. His mark is
Murdoch.
His mark is taken by Murdoch on the behind line. No score conceded. Murdoch's kick going a long way. Found a teammate, but the boundary umpire got there first.
Yeah, they've got some work to do, Old Iggies.
This is like the first quarter, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Down that end of the ground.
Yep. And again, far too easy. Look, I mean, I sound like a broken record here, but really, why aren't they employing a second jumper to come up when Butterworth is so easily winning the clearances, the ruck work?
When you say that, do you think that young people actually have any idea what you're talking about, a broken record?
That's a fair point, a broken dinner plate. Now, Iggy's again down this line, almost marked. Rostrevor's McCullum does it well. Now go the far side, son. He does. Finally, they kick into space. Ferrari around the corner. Jeez, look at the oval open up now that they've got it out to the far side. They're playing Division 3 football at the moment, Old Iggies, and they just need to start sharpening up a little bit if they're going to win this game. Nicely taken by Rostrevor's Hayden Swanbury there.
Well, the thing is, Iggies are the team that's behind.
Yep.
So they've got to make the change because this is just rolling on nicely for Rocks.
Yeah.
And they've only got to get one more goal. If they get 5 goals up, it's game over.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
in a low-scoring game.
Yeah. This is their chance. First time this quarter, we've had a stoppage in Old Ignatians' half of the field. The Rucks will go to it. Butterworth the tap. Trying to escape with the ball is Will Mead. And it will be another ball up 60 metres out. 7 minutes gone. Rocks have got a goal on the board. Iggy's yet to score. Trying to get the clearance through. Rookie was tackled. I sort of saw the ball drop.
Won a free kick.
Yeah, it's going to be Rook who was tackled without it. Too far out to score. Can't kick it to himself. Big pack. Good clunk. Taken by Kane Cheney.
Yeah, he's been good, Kane Cheney. He switches to play this side of the ground to Macaulay Glover. He's locked up on the mark by Jack Manson. He's been forced to kick down this side of the ground. It was not the greatest kick, though. I think it might be Bootsy that's intercepted, is it? No, it's Jack Armfield. Much better. Look inside the corridor. Look at the space on the far side of the ground. Someone needs to go there from the back half of the ground. They're all stationary behind the ball. That's what's killing them. They're not running out of the back half at all. Bacanello, he'll show you how to run. He comes into the corridor towards Fantasia. Marks it uncontested. Plays on quickly. Goes to Louis McCormack. He's 1 on 2. Can't keep it inboard, but gee, the difference in the play is astonishing, Phil. I'm not sure the difference in the ability is as stark as the difference in the styles of play, but Rostrevor's playing on quickly.
It looks like a team that knows how to connect with each other, like the long kicks are going to teammates.
Yep.
They're running in duos and waves and those sort of things. Right now they're trying to construct a clearance. Manson comes in with a tackle. He'll get the ball. Let's see, they're going to open it up on the outer side into some space. Here we go. Will Ferrari puts on the afterburners. Puts it inside forward 50. This sets his teammate a task. Lost footing at the most inconvenient of moments. The Rocks defence gathers in numbers. Bradley Jones can't get near the ball. Tackle on Swanbury gives the Wolves fans something to cheer about. It's going to be an inside 50 coming up for Old Ignatians.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether they just don't trust their skills or they're instructed to play the way they're playing Old Iggies, but gee, it's different completely to what we saw earlier in the year when they beat Goodwood Saints. They're inside 50 with an opportunity now, however. Onto the ball, quick onto the boot, left foot was Jack Manson. He just couldn't quite keep it on line, but at least it's a scoring opportunity for Old Iggies. It's their first point for the game. Can they lock it inside the 50? Tulio Dematius goes short to Dawson. He brings it, poor defence to Massey. The zone not working for Old Iggies. Some of the basics of footy here are poor and really hard to watch from Old Iggies. Massey has it, goes towards maybe Bacanello, is it? Hard to see.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think it's Bacanello. They come back in again. Where they need to press up here, Old Iggies. Press up, push up on a player. Tematius takes the game on. That's what you're not getting from Old Iggies. Quickly. They're in front.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a scrum developing. Umpire letting it go for as long as he can, but eventually has to come in and ball it up. Plenty of people on the other side of the other picket fence there in front of their cars. Again, speaking of broken records, Butterworth with the ruck tap. And just for those that are maybe under the age of 20, back in the day when you used to have LP records with vinyl, if it was partly broken, it'd just repeat everything as it tried to roll around with the needle. So that's what we're talking. Endlessly repetitive.
Beautifully explained, Phil. Thank you for that. So, ball up just outside the centre square. Can't see who wins that tap. Old Iggy's first on to the ball. Massey in there fighting for Rostrevor, holding the ball. Been ruthless on that today.
Yeah.
The umpires. Bacanello's won himself a free kick. One of the best tacklers in the league, I think, for mine, is Timmy Bacanello.
Pound for pound?
Yep.
Well, Dylan Reinbrett, he is from Sandford days, a tackling machine.
Yeah. So he goes towards Murphy, one-on-one against Murdoch. It's Dawson who gets it quickly. The Fantasia, now back to Murphy. That has to be a throw for mine, not paid. I don't know what happened there. Did he get that onto his boot, did he?
I think he sort of handballed it over his head.
Right.
I think was the logic.
Okay.
Just
so
to
good
keep
transfer.
the ball alive.
Yeah, good transfer of play from Rostrevor.
Yeah, when they move it quickly.
Yeah, their forwards are also leading and presenting, which you're not getting out of Old Iggy's. Really, it's, what is it, a 21-point margin. It feels, watching the game, it feels like a 6-7 goal margin, doesn't it?
Old Ignatians are not out of this if Iggy's got a wriggle on.
Yeah, they just need to change what they're doing, they feel.
Back. There's a kick out of nowhere. It ends up a behind, and we're back to our 21-point margin, 20-point margin. Time clock, 12 and a half minutes gone.
Even the kick in, I like to see him kick on and play to himself. Murdoch, he doesn't. Does a good kick though. Hits up Will Ferrari, I think. Perhaps, not sure. 100% sure. Out in the far pocket. It's dark here. We do hope the lights come on. He comes back to this side, which is good. Instead of just playing down the line. Kicks it to Carl Hodges. He's trapped on by Paul Fantasia. Ends up going long. McCormack almost takes it.
There really isn't much to commentate about at the moment, is there, Jack?
No, it is hard to watch some of this footy. I don't know how many times.
We expected that today when we did an 8th versus 9th game, but it's just the fact that both teams have to give everything today to try and survive the season as Rock's working around the back. Will Mead finds a target. They've done this far better today. And you could say probably they may not have got the due reward for it. Here's a mark too far out to score. The wheel around, the kick into the paddock. Where's Murphy? He's on one knee. He's taken the ground. He wants the free. Free kick is given to Old Ignatians.
He wants to get in a wrestle every time, doesn't he? I mean, look, he's kicked a lot of goals this year, so it must be working for him, but it's almost a one-trick pony. And you're not going to win a lot of those duels against Aussie Murdoch. He's no bunny. Here's an opportunity. Nice bit of pace shown by old Iggy's. Backs himself, the young fella. Can he keep on track? He can. I think it might be Bootsy. I tell you what, that's a goal. That is an absolute ripper. Is that young Sam Boots? 100% sure who that is.
I'll tell you as soon as I can.
See if we can get a replay of that, because that was a terrific run from almost the centre of the ground. Number 10, was it, Phil?
I'm just waiting for him to turn. I reckon it's...
Anyway, what I liked about that was he actually took the game on. Is it the fella near the umpire now? Boots, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, we'll give it to Boots unless otherwise
that one there?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, he took the game on. And that's what if they're going to win, they're going to have to take the game on.
He looked up and he saw that there was one forward with one defender and no one else.
And backed himself.
And he believed in his speed. It was a close run thing.
Yep.
But that's the goal of the day, and very tempting even if Old Iggy's to give that as the play of the day anyway.
Yeah. He did have a pretty good play of the day for
to Wharton from the solo shot.
Murphy's in good position here, Phil.
Can Rocks get the quick reply? No, it's McCormick couldn't get hold of it before it crossed the line.
Here's an opportunity out this side of the ground. Beautiful. It's on quickly to Ferrari. Get up, son, and go. Does. Oh, it's not the greatest kick. Reinbrecht, the left footer. Good defence by Murdoch, although in the end they let the ball spill to the back. Two Old Ignatians players competing in the air. Spoiled each other. The ball went over the back. Easy goal, Paul Fantasia. Second for the day. And, well, margin back out to 21 points.
I'm struggling to think, Jacko, of when Old Ignatians have kicked back-to-back goals today.
Yeah, it's a fair call, Phil. Every time they've looked like it, Rostrevor hit back quickly, haven't they?
And it's not that Old Ignatians have kicked, sorry, not that Rocks have kicked lots of back-to-back goals early, except in the early 10 minutes that they dominated. Fantasia's second.
Yeah, so we've got one-on-one footy everywhere at the moment. Ball in the centre of the ground. Tim Big again. It's far too easy for Butterworth. He's had a field day in the centre of the ground today. Wharton now under a bit of pressure and a bit of mud. Gives it to Reinbrecht on his left foot. Have a look at that kick, Phil. Murphy in good position here to use his body. And Aussie Murdoch, he goes back and watches that play. What he needed to do there was be side on. So he just propped. Have a look. Do we get a look at this? He's just facing the ball. So it's too easy to push under the ball when you're in that position. Bang, pushed under the ball. Must be side on. Harder to push. Can see both ways. Just poor defence, mate.
Murphy has 3. And this is a game high lead now for Rocks. So after the play of the day that you would think would spark Old Ignatians, Rocks have responded with 2 straight. It's 10-4-64. Old Iggy 6-1-37, 27-point margin. Low scoring game.
Time clock not working, so
we've got it at 17:40.
Right, okay, so crucial 5 minutes coming up for Old Iggy's, isn't it? If Rocks get the next one, almost feel like it's game over.
Correct. If it gets over 5 goals today, you think that would almost be enough.
Changing the ruck.
Butterworth, the big thump on this occasion, and he goes back to work for the ball. I love his second efforts. Spills to Glover. Top of the square, here it comes. Spills out the back, Murphy front square. He has 2 in a minute. And Rocks are on their way home. His 4th of the day. And it's almost like that open play just woke Rocks up from a slumber. And yeah, when it's your day, it's your day. The bounce of that ball could not have been better for Nick Murphy.
Well, it's the old rule, Phil. You can't let the ball get over the back. And that's 2 in a row where the ball has just got over the back too easily. You can compete in the air, the ball must come forward. Some of the basics not being adhered to by old Iggies are frightening today, I've got to tell you. I'm really disappointed with the way they're playing. Margin out to 5 goals, 3. It is all Rostrevor in the middle of the ground. Watch the ruckman for Iggies. Bit better jump than the last one when he came off 2 feet. You can't get any height when you come off 2 feet. But it's Rostrevor again who pushed the ball forward. Bit of defence from old Iggies, holds the ball up. But they need to start getting the ball out in the open, just try a few things. Because percentage is not going to be the deciding factor, is it? It's going to be wins.
It could be. Old Iggies get Glenunga next week, which they'd give themselves half a chance. When they met, it was a 1-point margin. Rocks, this is their game they have to win, because they got Port District and Goodwood Saints to finish. Can't see a win there, and can't see Old Iggies beating Port District in the final round. So yeah, they could be tied at 7 wins, and it could come down to percentage.
But the percentage at the moment is a fair bit apart, is it not?
Not a lot. Well, actually, correct. Well, Old Iggies have a 3.5 percentage gap.
Yeah.
That this result will narrow. In fact, I'll give you a live percentage at game's end.
Oh, how good are you? That's all in Rostrevor's front half of the ground, though. Ryan Bragg's on the left foot. He'd go around the corner here, surely. Not good enough to bend the ball back. If I look at Benny Watkins, he feels every blow out there on the ground, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll ever bring the rule in that the senior coaches need to sit inside the box.
Sit.
It's now a rule inside the juniors.
Yes, sit, Ubu, sit.
$100 fine if you're a junior coach and you don't sit in the box now.
No, you couldn't do it.
What, sit in the box?
Sit in the box. You just couldn't do it, surely.
I think Bootsy's sitting in the box. I think you got to sit in the... Anyway, it's up to it. Butterworth, without any opposition. Playing for a free kick. Might have been Wharton there.
I understand why it's in the juniors, don't get me wrong. Just, it's a bit like standing on the mark, Jacko. Yeah, there's a reason for it. It almost came off the foot. There's a reason for it.
You're in favour of the coach standing?
I think the coach should be allowed to stand up.
Okay.
For a starter, from a diaphragm communicate perspective, you can do it better standing up in the box than sitting in the box.
Yeah.
Now, whether they should be by the boundary intimidating umpires, different kettle of fish. But yeah. We could talk about that for a while. Still got a game of footy here, though, to win. And it's looking good for Rocks. That's a huge kick. Oh. Murphy almost again. He's waiting for it at the front of the pack. But it doesn't come free this time. Who was that kick from? That was Macaulay Glover.
Yeah.
He looks a likely lad. Come down from the Norwood Reserves. They're up against Centrals today. The Sandful. It's interesting that there's another lad who's out here today. I mentioned from the Lock Footy Club.
For ease?
Yeah, well, it is Macaulay Glover. He's actually the one who played for Lock in the Eastern Air. Come and plays for Norwood. So this must be his. He must have moved to Adelaide.
Right.
And so this is his Adelaide-based club when Norwood don't need him.
Okay. So that's 3 from Norwood Reserves at Rostrevor then.
It's actually his Rocks A-grade debut today.
Okay. So McCallum, it's been a bit quieter since half time, but does that well. Lays it off. Now they're another chance. They are peppering that forward 50, aren't they?
Yeah.
That looks like a Demetrius gone forward, is it? It is, yep. So Rostrevor throwing all the moves at Old Iggy's, and why wouldn't you? Because they are controlling the ball at will at the moment. They're dominating the stoppage, dominating inside 50. It is all Rostrevor. Tulio Demetrius, a chance to put Rostrevor out to 12-5. And I tell you what, you'll hear the big girl singing if he kicks this, Phil. Figaro, Figaro. That is Tulio Demetrius' first for the day, and opens up. Well, that's a 40-point margin now to Rostrevor. It's hard to see how Old Iggy's can fight.
Well, I've
this
got a
one out.
rule, Jacko. It's called the 40-20 rule.
Yep.
If you lead by 40 points after the 20-minute mark of the third quarter, you win.
And that's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Right, well, we'll pack up
So
and go home. We'll see you all again next week.
So I'm calling it. Rocks are home. I have not seen an example in
Now-
recent times in Sandful or Adelaide Footy League.
Now, this
where
I don't
teams
know.
dug themselves out of this hole.
I don't know why they're doing this. Paul Fantasia's now gone loose in the back half of the ground again. It's 24-minute mark. They've kicked all the goals.
What they don't want is they don't want what happened in the first quarter, where Old Iggy's got a goal after the siren. Rocks had a great quarter, but they just got that little bit of momentum back at the end.
Yeah, but look, if he's in the forward line now,
Yeah.
he present a target, but he's he's back behind the footy. Dawson kicks it into Ryan Brett.
He's just making sure that they're going to take a 40-point lead. It doesn't need to be 46. He's happy with the 40 at three-quarter time. Of course, no guarantees. As here come Ignatians now with it. Kick off the side of the boot due to some pressure. First to it was Swanbury. Coming in to help was Cheney. Kicking out of bounds on the full, about 3 rows back into the crowd. Benny Watkins almost had a mark. Was Charles Jordan. Old Ignatians to take it forward. One last time, I reckon, as we tick over 25 minutes.
Yeah, there can't be a lot of time left. Ferrari goes inboard now. Another kick on. They should be able to set up a loose play, given Rostrevor's have got a spare back behind the ball. But this holding the play up is not going to help their cause. They need to be able to get that kick and play on from it. This is not a bad kick, though. It's well defended by Rostrevor. Ferrari kicks check side. Got some numbers here. Got a player over the top if he can get it to him. Still there, that player. What can he do with it? It's not too bad off the boot. Not sure it'll hold its line.
Hugh Ferrari.
That's Hugh, is it?
Yeah, I can tell you the mystery man with the number mudded out, that's Ferrari.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, the good thing is he can go and see his grandfather tonight at Ferrari Menswear. You can get a new outfit, Phil.
Yeah. Margin back to 39. Three-quarter time imminent. This quarter, Rocks, in fact, we've got a blood rule, I reckon.
Just the one goal for Old Iggy's for the quarter, which was an absolute ripper. Sam Boots, I reckon it was, that had a couple of bounces and almost a contender for the play of the day.
I think we might not have to worry about doing 2 sets of prizes this week, Jacko. But we've had to do for a couple of the close ones as the kick comes in for Verassi. Rocks showing everything like they just want to keep the ball. Play on, says the umpire. Verassi. The umpire called play on and Verassi was out of bounds. That's an interesting thing to consider. Spills to Jones. His kick inside 50 in the Verassi direction. And that poor Old Ignatians player, Sammy Boots, double teamed on that occasion. Out of bounds. Throw in. 26 minutes gone. Third quarter.
So let's have a look back behind the ball, Phil. Old Iggy's have got 2 players spare back behind the ball. They are 6 goals down. They need to be pressing up here and locking the ball in. Don't need to be 2 kicks off the play. Does not help you at all. You are not involved in the play. I just thought they were better organised in this, to be honest with you. In fact, there's 3 players back behind the ball without an opponent.
The other thing is there's 1 Rocks forward without an opponent, which to me seems to defy the whole purpose of the exercise.
Yeah, so why wouldn't someone push up on Tulio Demetrius here? You've got 2 spares.
It's almost like they're doing a zone thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now they've manned up. Back inside the forward arc, Rook. Hand pass out to Ferrari, duck the head. No free given. Kick inside, 50 is a chance for Rook. He's just got a lot of red and black to get around. And Jordan takes his hand pass away. Varasi couldn't get a clear possession. It's not pretty, but for Rox it's effective. Some quick hands. That kick heads up, folks, out of bounds, but it will kill a bit of time. 28 minutes gone. 39-point lead to Rox at home.
So Carl Hodges, he's had his hands full today with Paul Fantasia, having a bit of a respite now that Paul Fantasia's gone loose in defence. Affects the kick, hits Will Abbott, he goes into the corridor but unfortunately misses the ball. Ends up with Ryan Breck, who gives it to McCullen, who gives it to Macaulay Glover, the lock boy. Now he goes long to Murphy. Good mark. Under real pressure there.
He's had a heck of a quarter, hasn't he?
He has had a very, very good quarter. Aussie Murdoch's had his work cut out for him. And most of it's been in the wrestle too. You know, he's been there and he just hasn't been able to hold him off. So it says to you that the value of experience, because size is not the thing. He's going to go back and have a shot for goal.
Why not?
Yep. Well, he's got. If there is a breeze, it's that end.
Yeah.
Going to have to go to the barrel though, I'd suggest. And he does. No, yeah. I tell you what, wasn't a bad kick in the end. No score, but a good effort by Nick Murphy. And well, he's kicked 4 for the day. 3/4 time score. Rostrevor 12-5. Far too good for Old Ignatians, who are on 6 goals too, and disappointing.
Coming up, we'll get Lambo from the huddles. We'll get Jacko's analysis. I'll try and grab some scores around the Buddy Bet Division 1. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League, thanks to Filming Footy.
G'day guys, the Simon Blake Academy is all about education and sport. Our partner in education is Torrens University, where our students either do a 1-year diploma course or a 3-year Bachelor of Business. Around that we run a football and athletic program based here at Norwood Oval, and it's all about trying to develop and take our students' game to a new level. Around that also, our third pillar, besides education and football, is personal development. If you want to get involved, check out our website, which is simonblack.com.au.
Well folks, we're down here at the Banner Crew. Our friend, supporter and sponsor of Between the Posts has joined us. Welcome Jason Goods.
Thanks, Tony. Nice to be with you.
What can the people out there expect to buy from the Banner Crew and get looked after?
Pretty much anything that you can put your club logo on, or a message from the club, whether it be like you mentioned, a marquee or a flag or an A-frame or a banner, a stubby holder, a pen, anything like that, anything that you can pop the club branding on. Everything's customisable, so basically we've got an in-house design department with 2 graphic designers that can work toward getting the message across that you're after.
We're down here at 318 to 326 St Vincent Street, Port Adelaide. Jason, thank you so much for your support.
G'day guys, the Simon Black Academy is all about education and sport. Our partner in education is Torrens University, where our students either do a 1-year diploma course or a 3-year Bachelor of Business. Around that we run a football and athletic program based here at Norwood Oval, and it's all about trying to develop and take our students' game to a new level. Around that also, our third pillar, besides education and football, is personal development. If you want to get involved, check out our website, which is simonblack.com.au.
Well folks, we're down here at the Banner Crew. Our friend, supporter and sponsor of Between the Posts has joined us. Welcome Jason Goods.
Thanks, Tony. Nice to be with you.
What can the people out there expect to buy from the Banner Crew and get looked after?
Pretty much anything that you can put your club logo on, or a message from the club, whether it be like you mentioned, a marquee or a flag or an A-frame or a banner, a stubby holder, a pen, anything like that, anything that you can pop the club branding on. Everything's customisable, so basically we've got an in-house design department with 2 graphic designers that can work toward getting the message across that you're after.
We're down here at 318 to 326 St Vincent Street, Port Adelaide. Jason, thank you so much for your support.
Welcome back, folks. Let's go to Lambo.
Jacko and Phil, 3/4 time here, and the Rocks are up by 39 points. Well, Rostrevor played some very good footy, mate, that quarter. They ran, they tackled, they chased. And you know what? They got the ball on quick. Murphy with 3 goals was a winner up forward. Biggies, the only best thing about that quarter was Will Ferrari in his Ferrari, taking 4 bounces and kicking the probably the goal today. But I'll tell you what, for them to get back in the game, they just got to go out on an all attack and just hope for the best. But at this stage, Rocks by a mile. Good commentating, boys. I'll see you after the game.
Not a bad job he has. He can now sit on his laurels.
He's got look, Lambo has got us out of jail.
Yeah, so
Will
he's given...
Ferrari with that goal.
I don't reckon it was, but anyway.
Okay.
We'll...
Lambo never gets anything wrong.
It won't be a factor in the awards because they're a long way.
Needs to be the winning team's player of the day.
Yeah, I did see Damien Boots and Adam West huddled over the coach's board at 3/4 time. I think they would almost throw it up in the air, and what comes down because they are a mile off the pace at the moment. Even though the scoreboard only reflects a 6-goal win, it's fair to say, well, it's almost double. Well, it is more than double actually. So, and that is a more true
7
reflection.
goals to win when you've kicked 6 all day is a tough ask. To take us home, you're with Sean Jackson.
Butterworth again, hacked out though by Old Iggy's. They go forward inside the forward 50. McCullum, too good. Bacanello now for Rostrevor, gives it back to McCullum. He's had a terrific game. Good kick into the corridor to Ryan the left footer. Lays it off to Wharton. Nice purchase on the kick. Goes towards Murphy. It's all body on body for Murphy. Just the experience. Going to end up with it, I reckon. Nearly. In the end, not a bad defensive effort, but it might be holding the ball. It is, and it is Murphy. I reckon he'll get it.
Oh, even if he didn't lay the tackle, he'd get the ball. There he is.
He's credit. Could have given one to the kid there, Murphy. Would have liked to seen just give one off to the young fella, but no way. He said, this is my 5th for the day.
Yeah.
And, well, I hope he makes the effort to go and shake that other kid's hand, who is Jet Boxer. So Murphy straight in front. Can't miss from there. Doesn't miss from there. Go and see Jet Boxer, mate, because I reckon he had a fair hand in that tackle. First blood to Rostrevor. 5 goals to Nick Murphy. It is a question of how far, and at some stage percentage may become a factor. And it, I guess now, from an Old Iggy's perspective, you would think about playing one loose back behind the footy.
Tea Tree Gully trailing Goodwood Saints by 21 points at 3/4 time. St Peter's and Port District haven't had an update since quarter time, and it was Prince Alfred 70-18, the last score update we had from Brighton Road.
So that's just poor structure from Old Iggy's. The wingman there for Rostrevor started on the wing. The Old Iggy's player started off the half-back flank, kept his width. Macaulay Glover got an easy possession, took it inside the forward 50 to give Rostrevor another opportunity. But if you look back behind the play, he doesn't have an opponent at all, Glover. Some of the structural stuff from Iggy's has been poor on occasions. Fantasia comes over the top for us as a second jumper, something you'd like to see from Iggy's. Bacanello ends up with it. Will Murphy take another one-hander? Dawson still keeps it alive. This time the young fella Jet Boxer has a go, and he's kicked his first for the day. And it is it's not raining here, but it is raining goals, Phil.
Yep, 2 without reply in the start of the final quarter. The opening 3 minutes has put this one beyond any doubt whatsoever. In fact, I reckon that might have been Wharton who's kicked that.
No, Boxer.
It was Boxer?
Yep.
Okay. The mud is starting to have an impact, so 8s are looking like 0s and 0s look like 8s. Anyway, in the scheme of things, relatively trivial. For the Rocks club that's been part of Division 1 for 10 seasons, but it would be fair to say if you went through the 2010s that they and the Goodwood Saints would be the 2 best teams of the decade.
Oh, another hole in the ball.
We're
from
looking over the abyss this morning, and now the view's a lot clearer.
Been a few of those free kicks, hasn't he? Holding the ball, just sitting on the ball.
Yeah, and they start when. I don't mind it as long as it's consistent. You'd probably say on that level it probably has been today. Here's Jack Mason, who's found some space, found an open teammate, 65 out, the wheel around, the kick to the square. It's 2-on-1 Rocks. Too easy for the Rostrevor defence.
Yeah, so that was Boots who kicked that in, and I'm pretty sure he was that running goal in the previous quarter.
You're not going to let it go, are you, Jack?
I'm kind of going to go back and give it to Boots.
There you go, and look at that replay on and on and on again until we come to a decision.
He one job, Lambo, just look at the goal kickers. And anyway.
The problem was they all gathered around him, and then it was hard to keep track of who it actually was who kicked it.
Now they're a chance. Old Iggy's. Look at that player sitting in the corridor all by himself.
Yep.
Demonstrating with his teammate.
And another one wide open for Iggy's, waiting for a hand pass that never came.
It's a challenging time now for Old Iggy's. So they just shut up shop for the rest of the day and start worrying about next week. Survival. Be disappointing because at times they've been terrific this year in their first year into Division 1. It'd be a shame to see them go back to Div 2, but well, they've got some work in front of them if they're going to hold their spot.
Picked a bad day to have a bad day.
Yeah, they did. Now they're a chance this time, lowering the eyes. They go into the forward 50, can't hit the kick. And I could count on one hand the amount of mark from Leeds inside their 50, forward 50 today.
We talked about percentage. Old Ignatians came in with a 3.5% advantage.
Yep.
That's now down to 1.1%.
Is that right? Wow. A chance here to get some back though, Phil, through Ferrari. That is his third. Lambo, that is his third. That is Old Ignatians' 7th. And, well, they are still half of Rostrevor's score. So 2-1, and that has been the tale.
Some muted applause from the faithful. And pretty much everyone starts to look around at the other scores, but in this situation it's pretty irrelevant. The only one of interest is maybe Tea Tree Gully and Brighton going down, because that's who Rocks will tie with, if that's the case. So the interesting one will be if Glenunga win and Brighton and Tea Tree Gully lose, then there's actually a 2-game gap for the 5. But we'll see more of that in the paper tomorrow and the weekend wrap tomorrow night. Old Iggy's with the looking for back-to-back goals for a rare time today. For us, he's there. He's depossessed of the football.
He's gone forward, hasn't he? Oh, no.
That's going to be
Boots again, I think.
Old Ignatians 3. This...
Got one coming off with the shoulder.
I reckon that might be Jones. The kick is long, it's strong, it's there. 2 in a row to Old Ignatians.
Yeah, I think that is James Kennedy who's come and received the handball from Boots. From full back, perhaps, James Kennedy. So that's or back pocket. It's nice to see, and something that I've been banging on about for too long. A little bit of run from the back half of the ground is needed. And it's when you do your matchups before the game and think about where you've got an advantage, you've got to be saying, you know, Nick Murphy, experienced player, kicks 5 goals. Can you hurt him when you've got the ball? And I don't think Old Iggy's have done that today. Now, Rostrevor have got a player loose, Fantasia. Fantasia's gone back to the back half of the ground again. Once again, Is this about preserving the score for Rostrevor? Not sure what that's about. Old Iggy's got one behind the footy as well. That probably suits Old Iggy's because...
Just to give you a bit of a guide of where percentage is at, I mentioned it was 1.1. It's now 1.6. Those 2 goals have moved the dial 0.5%.
Right.
Just 2 goals. Meanwhile, Ignatians have it. They have the loose player
Boots, good
and
kick.
the little dob, which...
Oh, did he play on for? Oh!
Well, he went to play out because he was waiting for the whistle, not sure if it went 15.
Okay.
Or at least that's how I would have done it.
Clever little kick from Boots, wasn't it?
And Will Ferrari is going to have a shot. This could be a hat-trick. This could be the comeback.
3 in a row, is it?
3 in a row, if successful. Always a problem if you're doing it when you're almost 10 goals down. 8 goals down, I think they got to. Ferrari's had his moments today. We got him for 3 goals. Sinks a bit and a bit wayward to the left. One behind. Sip and Save scoreboard 8-3-51 Old Ignatians. Rostrevor 14-5-89, a 48-point margin. Sip and Save, 1 hour delivery, 7 days a week.
So Dawson, who's in the back lines now as well, he goes to the boundary line to Guess Who. Might call Daniel McCullum Guess Who from now on. Guess Who, long down the line. Beautiful kick. Finds, I think that might be Ryan Lim. He hugs the boundary line, goes to Peter Verassi. A long sleeves, inboard now. Back to Dawson, another long sleever. He goes backwards. Plenty of free players. McCullum to Fantasia. They're doing what they like. To Kane Cheney. To Swanbury. Now Long. Back in Ello in best position. Does it well. Well defended by Old Iggy's though. They've got the numbers. Cannon into his back there. Was Demetrius, gave away a free kick. Now they come out Old Iggy's. Kieran Reynolds lays off the handball to Rook. Got another play on the outside if you can see him. He does. It's Boots. Lowers his eyes nicely. Oh, just couldn't quite hang on to it, but not a bad effort. And that is a goal. That I reckon is that Ferrari?
I'll wait for you, but that's 3 in a row. It's not Will Ferrari.
There always a chance if you say Ferrari, given there's 2 of them, doubles the odds.
I've got him identified. He's just got to turn.
Coming into the middle of the ground. And Lambo.
Last 3 goals by Old Iggy's there, Jack and Phil, but the damage has been done. Only injuries. Number 8 for Old Iggy's has gone off with a hip injury. That's it, boys.
Thomas Ryan.
He's coming back on now
21.
because he just got a band-aid.
Oh, Lambo,
Thomas
Lambo.
Ryan with the goal. He has played, just a bit about Thomas Ryan, he's played in the Bs and Cs. First game in the A's last week, and it's his first goal at A grade level. So
And a good one it was too, Phil.
Tommy Ryan, and a nice one to have as your debut.
Tommy Dawes, was it?
Tommy Ryan.
Tommy Ryan.
21.
So, yeah, Jared Centenera, good. His shoulder's okay. He's coming back onto the ground. They'll need him the next couple of weeks if they're to pinch a win. Ryan Brett comes down to the centre for Rostrevor, quickly onto the left foot. Goes towards McCormack.
Dude, one-man brick wall on that occasion, Louis McCormack.
Poleaxed. And one umpire seems to have done a lot of work today, and it's this particular umpire as he throws it up. Punched towards the boundary line, Old Iggy's. In danger, I think, is the call. Free kick to Rostrevor. I reckon that might be Ryan Lim, number 30, Phil.
I'm not disputing you.
He's going to go to the centre half. Well, someone's down from Old Iggy's. Looked like he caught one maybe in the back. Hasn't. Now getting up now. Murdoch goes at that one. Rostrevor got all the answers though. Butterworth on the left, around the corner to Dawson. Great mark. Got all the answers, Rostrevor. Paul Fantasia looks a little bit confused. He's asking the coach, where do you want me, coach? Back, forward, I'm all over the place today.
I think his player that went down, James Kennedy, is up and at him and standing next to the goalpost.
Yeah, good to see. So Patrick Dawson will have a shot on goal for his third for the afternoon. Distance won't be a problem from there. Just a matter of accuracy. Goes left to right, actually. And, well, we know he's an exciting player, Patrick Dawson. He's had a very good game today, as has pretty much all the forwards, haven't they? We spoke about that before the game. Paul Fantasia, terrific, either front or back. Nick Murphy with 5. Louis McCormack's been front and back. And Patrick Dawson, well, he's kicked 3 goals, so can't ask for too much more than their key forwards have given them today.
Just checking through, and I reckon
Accurate kicking for goals.
that is Rostrevor's highest score.
Yeah, 15-5, they'd be happy
season.
with that.
They did get to 13-16-94 when they beat Adam in a game you covered here a couple of months ago.
Yep.
So they enjoy it when you travel here, Jacko. They'll bring you here back every week.
So McCullum again, it was off the halfback to Charles Kemp. Nice kick to the forward line. Ryan Lim, good position, gives it to Bacanello, drops the ball under a bit of heat from the old Iggy's boys, squeezes it out. Now they come around the corner. This is Fantasia, 1v2. Coming over the top was Louis McCormack, almost going for the mark of the century. Looks like Murphy is no longer there, so they're probably wisely resting him up, Phil. He's kicked his 5, he's done his bit. I don't reckon he covered more than a kilometre over the course of the day.
They were pretty much all around that goal square, weren't they?
Handy when you got a forward like that to aim the ball at. Now, guess who's got it? Guess who?
You can have a shot. Have a shot. Have a shot. Oh, no.
He has been hit as hard as that Iggy's player could get him, and it did not faze him one iota. And he just ran past the Iggy's player and just said, mate, is that the best you've got? And have a look at him cover ground to the other end of the ground.
He's going to get the ball if Iggy's go forward, which they don't. It spills out of bounds. Yeah. I mean, that's work rate. That's... He would have every right with the game he's played to take that one easy going back.
Yeah, I don't have any hesitation, Phil, in declaring that the winner of Best on Ground today is Daniel McCullum. 15 minutes to go. He has won himself the award.
Fair enough. You're right, because anything, we talk about junk time, and we've been in it pretty much the entire final quarter.
I'd like to call
especially after Rock's called the first 2 goals.
I'd like to call a Rostrevor game where we don't give him the dartfish beanie, Phil.
Yeah. I just think that Paddy Dawson or Dylan Reinbrecht or Nick Murphy would stand up, but...
Free kick.
I mean, Nick Murphy will probably consider himself a little bit unfair, but we look more at the players setting it up than the ones converting. Now, this lad I've seen before. I think this is Whitfield.
Jacob Whitfield.
Well, he's got a bit of a story. Hope he kicks the goal.
Yes.
He does.
What's his story, Phil?
Because Jacob Whitfield started 2022 playing for the Roos of Wentworth.
Right.
Out in the Sunraysia League, played 4 games, kicked 6 goals.
Right.
How he's ended up at Old Ignatians, I've got no idea.
Right. Good
But,
story.
It's not with a Sandford club or anything like that. It's maybe a work transfer back to Adelaide.
Yeah. Is he points?
Sorry?
Is he points?
How do I find that out?
If you go onto Play HQ,
which I'm
it'll
on.
tell you there'll be a thing alongside his name if he's points. That'll tell you whether he might be a past student. This time, Old Iggy's win the ruck. Probably one of the first times I've seen that. Reinbrecht has got better as the game's gone on. Hooks it around the corner. We've seen him do that a bit. Connor Bristow does it well for Old Iggy. Switches the play out the far side. Lowers his eyes. But in really good position for Rostrevor, and intercepting the play was Paul Fantasia. No, he's down the other end. So this must be his lookalike, Ryan Lim. Now they're out on the far side. In fact, this is Lim, so I don't know who Fantasia's lookalike is. But this is Rostrevor's... Well, sorry folks, but it's getting really hard to see the play out the far side. I reckon this might be Louis McCormack. I know the coach loves him. One of his favourites. Kicks down the line. Looking for Bacanello. He can't quite get it. So a little bit of a lull in proceedings, folks, just to give you an update on the score, Rostrevor.
So we've got can you write down your prize winners?
Yep.
I'll get them down to Lambo.
15-5, lead Old Iggy's 10-3, so 5-goal margin, but honestly it feels like a 10-goal win.
It does. Pat Dawson takes on two Iggy's defenders. If it spills, 3 rocks are on, but it doesn't. The umpire comes in and says, I'll take it. Although they're really keen. No, actually, he's come in. Not sure what's going on. They're still scrambling, and the umpire's just picked the ball up and thrown it up. That allows Rocks to get the shot on goal through Will Mead.
There we go.
And he's dobbed it.
And
for the first time in 2022, Rostrevor Old Collegians have cracked the ton. 16-5, 101. Old Ignatians 10-3, 63.
It's handy having so many left-footers in your team, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a weird one. The players were still going on at each other like there was something in dispute, whether they didn't hear the umpire's whistle or they were ignoring the umpire's whistle. I'm not sure, Jacko. I'll take this and I'll meet Lambo halfway.
Okay.
Leave you to call some footy.
He looks like he's getting busy with all the awards. I thank all our match day award winners. We're back in the middle of the ground. Neutral ball this time. Well tackled Ryan Lim. Been impressed with his game as well for Rostrevor. He's been pretty solid. Lambo's fallen asleep on the boundary line. He's come and get the awards. So secondary bounce. No one able to take the ball cleanly. We'll have another restart. Can't be a lot of time left. Well, we've got 19 minutes. Might be another 6 or 7 minutes. Good tackle. Umpire's played hanging on, so it'll be a free kick to Will Ferrari. Got a pretty reasonable game. His highlight reel would be good. Kicks out the far side. It's a good kick to space. Now on the left foot, they go long into the forward 50, but unfortunately standing in the way and has been pretty solid all day is Hayden Swanbury. I've liked his game. Got a bit of height about him. He's going to develop into a good player. He's kicked it long. One-on-one, Baccanello, I mentioned before, he's one of the better tacklers in the league. Wraps the Old Iggy's player up there, and we'll have another ball up. So this time Old Iggy's get first hands on the ball. Dawson it is, gives it to Ryan Breck. He's well tackled. Umpire says, good tackle, but not good enough to be rewarded with a free kick, and we'll have another restart. This time Butterworth hits it towards Macaulay Glover, the boy from Lock. Good thing I'll say about Old Iggy's, they could have actually turned their toes up and got rolled, but they haven't done that. Fantasia takes a nice mark, not paid. Butterworth has it, hits it forward towards Lim. Now they come deep into the forward 50. Good effort by Louis McCormack, does enough for Fergus Kernahan. Can he kick a miracle around the corner? Oh, he almost does. Just hits the padding on the top of the right post, so very unlucky Fergus Kernahan. So they're at 16-6. Their goal scoring percentage been terrific today. That's a poor miss there from Old Iggy's, and then just a fumble over the ball. Players looking a little bit tired, desperately waiting for the end of the game. Rostrevor, however, running on top of the ground. I mentioned before, the fitness might have been an issue. It doesn't appear to be. They are coming still. They'd probably like to try and get to 20 goals. I don't know if they've got enough time to do that, but they've certainly cracked the 100-point margin. That's always a highlight. Now Wharton comes away with it, kicked the first goal of the game. That's a great kick around the corner to Louis McCormack. Hasn't kicked a goal today, Lewis McCormack, which is a surprise, but you look at the players, Rostrevor players, get around James Wharton. How many games has he played, Phil, or am I sending you too big a challenge there?
Okay. What have we got? Wharton. 15 games this year for 11 goals.
Right, okay.
His highest is 2 versus Tea Tree Gully. He has 1 so far today, we think.
Right. Louis McCormack for his first for the day. Just can't quite keep it on the line. Just pushed it a little bit too far left. But Big Benny Watkins will be a happy man tonight, Phil.
Should be.
Off the drink, though. I'll have to have one for him.
You.
Maybe
Such
2.
a help.
Maybe 2. See, it is Saturday, Phil. You're allowed to have 2 on a Saturday.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Oh, they've got the barrel this time, right into the middle of the ground. 3 Old Iggy players there could have raffled it. None of them good enough to take it. Ball spills out. Charging at it was Rostrevor's Macaulay Glover. His last quarter's been terrific. Murdoch for Old Iggy's. Now they're in the middle of the ground. Kieran Reynolds around the corner. Crowd screams for holding the ball. Getting more vocal as the game goes on. I'll tell you what, this kid's got better as the game has gone on too. Macaulay Glover. He goes out to Jordan, who can't take the ball cleanly.
Well, hopefully someone from Norwood, although they were playing a very tight game at Elizabeth, 1 point in at 26 into the final quarter when I passed the TV. Hopefully someone from Norwood's been here to watch.
Okay.
Hopefully he gets another go in the reserve squad.
How has he played in the Rezzies? Any idea? Don't know.
Somewhere, mate. 8 games, no goals.
8 games for Norwood in the reserves this year, has he?
Yep.
Right, okay. That'll be interesting. That'll play a part in the finals too, because that's a great kick from Old Iggy's. It's a goal, I reckon.
It's suddenly become...
Please tell me it's not Ferrari again, is it? At the far side? Just looks like he's stretching his calf, Phil. Whoever kicked it.
Work, Jacko. It could be one of 100.
Saw
We need
right,
to go...
Saw right
When
calf.
all else is in dispute, we go to the Simon Black Academy replay.
Right.
I'm calling for them. I'm bringing them up. Give us a replay.
I think the commentators have given the game
It's
away.
been fascinating. We've ended up with a 26-goal game, and at half-time we had 12. So I guess, 14.
I'm going to say Ferrari for the
for
day.
Sunday Mail will tell you all about it tomorrow. We know you love your Sunday Mail, as seen on Between the Posts.
Can't think of any better way to start the Sunday other than a roll in the hay. But I'm not on the farm, Phil. So it'll have to be Sunday Mail tomorrow.
Sunday Mail, plenty of footy scores around the state, and all 2 pages of Adelaide Footy League stuff. As Old Iggy's, I'll tell you what, they actually have scored. Remember we said at the start of the quarter they've scored 6 goals and they'd have to score at least another 6? Well, they've got half a chance. Only problem is Old Ignatians, Rostrevor has scored about 4 or 5 to put it beyond all doubt. This is Jacob Whitfield, the Wentworth Roo.
Ben Watkins still prowling the boundary line, Phil. He's just asked the timekeeper how long. He's been told 3 minutes. I reckon he'd start settling down. They're up by 5 with 3 minutes to go. You called it at the 20-minute mark of the third quarter. Yep. They're up by 40. Yep. They're only up by 33 now, so Iggy's picked
I'm not
back
saying they weren't going
points.
to have their deficit or that Iggy's won't make it interesting.
I understand what you're saying.
Just, you get 40 up, 20 minutes of the third quarter, you don't lose.
The 40-20 rule.
Yep.
I've heard of the 80-20 rule.
Yep.
So Dan Matthias, he's had a pretty solid game and important. Rostrevor back into the team. Goes long. Dawson being good. Quick kick towards Fantasia. Ball beats him out of bounds. Oh, a beautiful picket fence here at Rostrevor's Oval. Lights did not come on, so power bill. Well, we know how expensive electricity is.
Oh, yeah.
So I can understand them not rushing to get those lights on. A big night back here today tonight with the Loretto girls having played in the grand final and the Rostrevor men having possibly avoided relegation.
Well, I reckon it's their biggest win of the year.
Yeah, no question.
Because if they lost this, I couldn't see a road back to them to stay in Div 1. Now, they're not home yet. They got Port Districts and Goodwood, and the main thing they have to do is make sure they don't get flattened in any of those contests. And Barrack for Glenunga really hard next week to beat Iggy's, and at that point it's probably beyond all doubt. As Paul Fantasia's marked on a nice, quick forward movement. It's been a hallmark of Rocks this afternoon. Umpire makes sure he's on the right angle.
Murphy hasn't re-emerged, so they obviously put him on ice for the rest of the game, and maybe getting him ready for finals.
Sorry?
The final 2 games, that is.
Oh, the final 2 games. Okay.
Fantasia for 3. That distracted you, Phil.
It distracted me because I'm trying to work out what finals you were talking about. This was their grand final today.
Yeah.
2 games to see out the season.
Old Ignatians, Teachugali, Brighton, and Rocks. 4 teams it looks like for one relegation spot, and Old Ignatians are right in them.
Edward
most
Shaw
likely.
kicks long. It's all Rostrevor when the ball hits the ground though. Come this side of the ground. Jordan over the top. Free kick for a hit after. Probably the last bloke you want to be whacking after he kicks the ball is Charlie Jordan. That's his go. Now they're deep again. Can Fantasia take one more for the rest for the last bit of the game? He can't. Nicely sold the pup there by Old Ignatians. They go the far side. Just a little bit of advice to the Old Iggies people again to reiterate, it is really difficult for us to pick up their Guernsey numbers on a day like today.
By all means, I like the front of the jumper, fantastic. Just have around the number one constant back colour.
Yep.
Will make a world of difference.
Just a patch of the top, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, just
Like
put a yellow or
Hawthorn
blue
do.
patch, yeah.
Or even Port Magpies do.
So Fantasia to Dawson, he's hit him up
Or
beautifully.
Rocks do.
That is the final siren, and all that remains is to see whether Patrick Dawson can kick his 4th, I'm going to say.
You've kept better track of it than me by the end of it.
Patrick Dawson, yes, this will be his 4th. And we'll get Rostrevor to 17 if he can keep it online. Steers it through, doesn't quite get it. They'll be happy with 16 goals, 9 though, because in any game of footy you don't lose too many if you can manage to kick 16 or average 4 goals a quarter. A good win to Rostrevor and a very, very disappointing day for the Old Ignatians Footy Club. They've got some work to do to pinch a win back in their last 2 games. Is it Glenunga next week or the week after?
Okay, so Glenunga next week.
Next week.
In a must-win, and that's at Karen Rolton, and then at Port District, which is going to be mighty hard. For Rocks, their games ahead, they travel to Port District, so Port District get 2 home games to finish up with against 2 of the bottom teams. So
right.
That will strengthen their minor premiership chances, and then Rocks will finish it at home here against the Goodwood Saints. 2 teams that played in a grand final 2 years ago, but at different ends of the ladder this season. Lambo's out, rounding up the prize winners. We'll talk to them shortly. We'll try and get you some scores from around the other Division 1 games, and Jacko will give you some final thoughts. But it really was, Rocks started strong. Old Ignatians had very minimal patches of dominance. It really was the Rostrevor show today.
Oh, absolutely, it was the Rostrevor. Right from the word go, Phil, I think they kicked the first goal of the game with James Wharton, which is an absolute ripper. He wins our Simon Black Academy Player of the Day for that goal. But they pretty much held an advantage, you know, right from the first quarter all the way through. And Old Iggies, disappointingly, never really challenged. There are a lot of things not to like about Old Ignatians in comparison when we called them last against Goodwood Saints when it was all positive. Today, back to the drawing board. I think there are, thing that need to look at their ruck setup and what to do when you're getting comprehensively beaten, and what's your plan B. Did they have any change-up moves in the front half of the ground? They looked like they were stagnant, and particularly in the back half of the ground where they were really afraid to take the game on. It was hard to watch at times, but look, it's been a good year for them. Don't confuse that, and they've done a good job. It'll be disappointing to see them go down now, but the work is very, very much in front of them.
Alrighty, he's ready. Let's go to Lambo.
Boys, what a great game today. And as you can see, Rostrevor won by 35 points. Some really great efforts today. And it started with their captain today, who was absolutely fantastic, Daniel McCallum. Good boy, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah.
What, you didn't know your name, or were you a bit nervous?
Yeah, I didn't know if there was a question there. Awesome to get a win. All year we've sort of played in patches, and last 2 weeks we played 4 quarters, which was awesome.
Fantastic, mate. Here's your beanie.
Oh, cheers, mate.
I heard you got 4 now. And also a voucher too, mate, okay, for best on ground. Well done, matey. Simon Black Police Academy award goes to James Wharton. Well done, James.
Thank you very much.
I played a bit of footy with your dad years ago, mate. How is Mark?
Yeah, he's good. He's up there having a few drinks.
Good on you, Mark. Wave to Dad.
I don't.
Great game, mate. You did very well today. Well done, mate. So, remember that first goal in the first quarter?
Yeah.
All the boys about that tonight, and no doubt they'll give you a few drinks.
Yeah, will do. Thank you.
Moseley Bar again. Paul Fantasia, well done, mate.
Opportunity.
That was for the Team Player Award, mate. Look after your mates. $100 voucher.
Beautiful, mate. Appreciate that. Good to get the win.
Space now for the rest of the year, and hopefully still Divi 1 next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we can finish off with a couple more wins.
Fantastic. Well done, boys, on all your efforts today from Dartfish and Adelaide Footy League. We appreciate all the hospitality and enjoy your win tonight. So well done, boys. Take care. No, just get in with a team photo because it's about me.
Yeah, well, there it is.
No doubt about it. Nobody does post-match interviews like Craig Lambert.
Adelaide's answer to Dougie Hawkins and Robert D.
Oh, rolled into one.
Simon Black Police Academy. We are going to edit that, and we're going to in fact, we're going to send that over to Blackie during the week.
We're going to put some music to it as well. Are you going to be the sound effects guy? All right.
I'm going to cut that up and put that on between the posts Monday night.
I've got 4 results out of 5 in Div 1, so
Fantastic.
I can paint you a bit of a picture. Prince Alfred roared away from Brighton.
Wow.
12-13-85, Brighton 4-6-30 as Rocks. To their faithful, who would have been worried this morning, much happier this evening. But Prince Alfred, they're charging 55-point win over Brighton Bombers.
Yeah, they can win it, Phil.
Yeah. At St. Peter's, on the death, Port District 13-9-87, St. Peter's 13-7-85.
Well, they're like Collingwood. They win the close ones, don't they, Port Districts?
Just win, baby.
Yep.
And up at Pertaringa Oval, it was tighter than this earlier, but Goodwood Saints 17-10-112 beat Tea Tree Gully 8-5-53. A 59-point win to Goodwood Saints. So first, second and third have won. There's now a bit of a gap between third and fourth. Glenunga and Paynham is the result we don't know. If Glenunga have won that, there's a 2-game gap between fifth and sixth. So the 5 is almost set if Glenunga have beaten Paynham. And that's about it. So Lambo's come up. Lambo, thank you for your efforts post-interview. Absolutely hilarious. Thank you for that.
Yeah, on behalf of the Simon Black Police Academy, we want to...
I said it for a reason. Because it's number 5 tonight.
Fantastic.
Good show. No, I did upset a lady down there. I didn't know I had my back turned, and number 8 went back on the ground, and I said he came off for a band-aid, and I didn't know that was his mum.
Did she attack you with the umbrella? That wasn't the umbrella lady, was it?
Really?
That wasn't the lady with the umbrella.
I don't know, there's a few of them down there, but she doesn't like me at all.
Okay. So you're going to make an apology on air, or what's the story?
I just said it was a band-aid effect.
Okay. Nice, Lambo. Any final... You made all the effort to climb up, you say. Well, any final words? Because we're going.
Please.
St. Iggy's have been up here for 12 months, enjoying Divi 1. They could go back down to Divi 2, unfortunately. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's footy.
That's footy.
No mercy from you, Craig?
No. I'm just watching Police Academy tonight.
Unfortunately, it is an 18-game season, and Old Iggy's are starting to run out of puff, I think, if we look at their results. Jacko, any final words from you before we wrap it up?
No, I guess the only thing from an Old Iggy's perspective is that they're still alive. They've got Glenunga next week, and you've mentioned several times that they're a chance to win that one.
I think so.
If those players that were out today all come back in next week, they'll be a much better side. Yeah. But, gee, they need to review the tape, and they need to review the game, because fundamentally they got a lot of fundamentals wrong today, and there's a lot of improvement on their effort today.
Next week, a huge encounter. We're off to Goodwood Oval, where we are always looked after for the second place Goodwood Saints and the third place Prince Alfred Old Collegians. Definitely a finals, grand final, but definitely a finals preview. So, any final thoughts, Jacko, before we wrap up? I think I've... That's all? Alrighty. Of course, you can keep up to date. Adelaide Footy League Facebook page, Sunday Mail to Maya, the weekend wrap, thanks to C-Match Clinical Research, Plays of the Week, and of course, Jacko and Tony Tony's back for... Is Tony back?
Yes, unfortunately.
For Between the Posts. Thanks again also to Liam and to Karen for their efforts producing behind the scenes. They never get any credit that is deserved. From Campbelltown Memorial over, Old Iggy's won the C's, Old Iggy's won the B's, but from go to woe it was Rocks winning by 46 points in the highest score of the season. I'm Phil Hurden saying thanks for being with us today. You've been watching the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.
G'day guys, the Simon Black Academy is all about education and sport. Our partner in education is Torrens University, where our students either do a one-year diploma